Nice.
Mun tata for more million jama wala li nyim pengota coronavirus musasa sotoring ansi andung amana nyim mukelati wala nyim musulati amay sibo nyoto mo wili jama fata findu banko kan wala li nyim sasa soto andung ay faale coronavirus man jaral soto bari fanan akibar dima mumunti ay pengu sotole
Vaccine.
Millions of people around the world don't get this vaccine here. Coronavirus not something we do. It not sabi race, it not sabi gender, it not sabi tribe. It don't kill thousands of Africans around the world because it not been get cure. But the good news now, it don't get vaccine. Coronavirus not all man in business. So tell you people that way you like. On a member say, we all not safe. We all learn safe.
Guliji yimbe ka hore lady woni ko yettindu pikiru coronavirus non ko gonga anda bale anda dani anda paykun anda mawdo wari Africans be boy ka hore lady sabu non ala lekki kono kibaruji welde di woni ndu hebi haray pikiru
bayna fo nyetti o vaccine ko kala yoreno tetindi labi ko dum non ko fewno coronavirus no wodi o nyawono.
If you want to receive monies from UK, Europe, USA, Canada, Switzerland, and the rest of the world, Supersonic's money transfer has got you covered. With the largest payout network in the Gambia, you can now receive your monies anywhere you are, from Kartong to Koina, with less hassle. Yes! You can receive monies from your family and friends in UK, Europe, USA, Canada, Switzerland, and the rest of the world with our safe, secure, fast, and convenient service that offers you the largest selection of payout locations in the Gambia. Supersonic's Money Transfer. We are currently in 34 African countries and counting, giving you quality money remittance services that are second to none. Visit the Google Play Store or the Apple Store today to download the Supersonics Money Transfer app and enjoy excellent money transfer services only with Supersonics.
Are you hearing music?
Yeah.
Maro jambe dile, maro lo jambe dile, maro mala jambe dile. Maro lo jambe dile, maro lo jambe dile, maro mala jambe dile. Kuda belombe fada, kuda belombe fada, suma kunda lombe lema. Sama kademba bota, demba mambore fafalaki, sasetana, yeso banta, moko banta, kore nyanjo tebola jenela.
Charles, 3 seconds, I just realized not penong aja na 3 seconds, kung nga na penong aja na malang akin ang balang apen do brava. Quickly.
ni money, huh?
Jara sonko ni sanyo adunia.
Nanjol.
Besa ni konya njol banda. Banda konya njol momba. Nanjilo kona ngakilo bulana njola.
Hello, good evening, and welcome to another edition of the Showbiz in Focus. It is not usual to start with music, but today we have a Sanneh Kundanka, who is no one else but Serign Sanneh. And I decided to give you this track coming from King Colley, Chedo. This is a typical Kora music hailing from the Gambia, the smiling coast of West Africa. And like we always do it, we are here to discuss about the issues affecting our industry, that is the cultural sector of the Gambia, and also some of the positive things that we can take out of it with regards to the developments taking place. And tonight I have two distinguished guests, a top promoter residing in Vienna, Austria, and he is no one else but Fabs Colley. He is here with us tonight. We also have Serign Sanneh, a copyright expert who is studying, and then he is almost on the finishing line of his BA Honors. He will be joining. He is also here with us tonight to give us some knowledge with regards to implementation and management with regards to the creative sector. So all the viewers who are watching right now, the Gambia Talents TV, we want to say good evening to all of you. And then we are proud to welcome you all to this very interesting interview that we're going to start. But as I told you, we will start with music, and then we will come to the program proper. Sanneh ni mane kumbalimpi.
Even promote kan bajal. Enggak ni mantan orang dan ngajam badong ke.
Aku nyancul banta lebaraka de mambira ko nyancul banta jan. Nyancul banta lesan. Jambe di ala le. Kay dafa neex because dama am two top professionals in the industry, and I am so glad to have them here tonight with me. Yeah. Thank you so much, my guest tonight. Like I said, we are talking about the creative industry of the Gambia, the cultural sector. And as you all know, there is a lot of things to talk about with regards to the Gambia creative industry. And I am happy to also let you know that we will be joined by the Director General, Sheikh Omar Jallow. He will take us through the Copyright Act and also some of the steps that they have taken with regards to the implementation in the Gambia. And that is a very interesting part. I just received a telephone call from him. He is available, and we believe and we hope and pray that the internet in the Gambia tonight will be perfect, so that the listeners or the viewers out there could be able to get that important information from him. So we are very excited to host him later on this program. He is also set. He is preparing to join us later on. Let's say half an hour into the program. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to start with Fabs Colley. Fabs, the last time you were with us, but it was a quick one. Then, like Isimirek, we just brought you into the program, and then you did not even introduce yourself that much better to the people. Like I said, a top promoter out there in Vienna. Tell the world who you are and where you come from.
Yes, Assalamu alaikum, greetings, viewers and listeners. My name is Fawala Colley, aka Fabs Colley. Yeah, I'm from the Gambia. I was born and grew up in Gambia, and I did my primary, secondary, high school in the Gambia, and now I'm living in Austria. Yeah, and I am a co-founder of the Flag Flow High in the Gambia, managing a DJ and managing an artist at the same time. So I'm managing Simplicity Sound, aka Rooftop Entertainment, and I am the managing director of LMG. Also, this is like DJ Limbo's label. It's called LMG, Limbo Music Group. Yeah.
Okay, and then you've been managing DJ Limbo since when?
Well, this is like nearly 5 years now. We're now into 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, into our management contract. So yeah, we've been together for some time now. And we did a lot of stuff also. So we did manage to release an EP, which is called The Debut. So we are working on other stuff which we couldn't disclose right now, but is on the pipeline. So as soon as we are done with everything, it will be let, or it will be known to the public anyway. So
Okay.
Here we are now.
So since you started managing him, how many albums did you work on? Is there any major album that you work together with DJ?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We haven't put out an album yet. We only had an EP, which we did a few years ago, and now we are working on other stuff which I couldn't disclose
So
right now anyway.
That's a secret.
But
Anyway,
but we put out a lot of singles out there which are doing very great, including the Dohi Bandi, which gave him the breakthrough. I think everyone knows about the Dohi Bandi, which is doing really great right now. Is where he got his breakthrough. So yeah, we had a lot of singles out there, both reggae and mainstream music, and this Bandi music we call this Dohi Bandi. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that is important. And then I am aware of the fact that you are also part of the organizers of the Flag Flow High. Can you tell us something about that?
Well, I am.
Festival. Yeah.
Yeah, I am a co-founder of the Flag Flow High Senegambia, and I am the CEO. I am also managing the Flag Flow High Senegambia. So I'm the one doing the bookings and contacting artists and organizing the events and contacting clubs and venues and all these things. So I'm the one doing that too. Yeah, it's a movement formed
We are on. Yeah.
8 years ago. So it was a time when we realized that we were doing a lot of parties like dancehall, reggae parties, and then we said to ourselves it would be very great to also organize something where we will be promoting our artists, to be highlighting our artists, or to build a platform where we will be hosting our artists, highlighting them and showing them to the world. So this is how everything started. So it was an annual event where we will contact different Gambian artists living or Senegambian artists living around Europe here. We will get them to Vienna, organize a live band, proper club, and then we, throw a show for them. So it has been going on for some time now. We had to take a break because of the coronavirus, but it has been going on and it's very successful. It has been very successful. We hosted quite a number of Gambian artists, including our Great Rebellion, the Recola, Dr. Uluganda, Black Thunder, the list goes on, Yeah. That's how or where we are right now.
Uh, that is very interesting, and I was also aware that some major Gambian artists took part in those festivals, like the Jallow Creators, the Tismo Suso, and Topianka, and some of the Gambian artists who are even based in other parts of Europe have been going to Austria to attend this important festival.
Yeah, we had quite a number of artists on our platform. Like I said, the annual event that we usually organize is like we will host like 7 or 8 different Senegambian artists, in one platform, one night, backed by a live band, and a proper club, one of the biggest club where most of these Jamaican reggae artists do perform and so on. So it's a really proper setup. And few years ago, also we had Jaliba Kuyate. He was around, and then we booked him, in the same club, the same venue, which was also a very successful show, because like normally the shows that we were doing was only reggae music, and our ladies also were sometimes like saying, "Oh, why can't you do something for us?" Like something cultural or exactly Mbalak also, So Jaliba Kuyate was on tour, and I was contacted, and we took the show. We did a great job with them, and they were very happy too. And it is one of our most successful shows. And yeah, and then there's another event that we also used to keep. It's called the All White Party. This is always on December. It's always like it's also for the ladies. It's like a mbala ndaga stuff. Where we invited Mambala from Senegal or Senegambia, and then we had Bai Babu also here. So it's always kept on the December, and it's always a very nice party also. We have the videos and the pictures in the internet, on our page. So you guys can go and check it out,
So people who want to know what you do more then can go there and check it out. And what is the website? The name of the website?
No, we don't have a website. We have a page, and we have exactly, and on YouTube also you can find all our videos, like the shows that we've been doing. All those videos are like on YouTube, So if you just type Flat Flow High Senegambia, you will see all our stuff there, But there is no website set yet for it. But the page is still running, and we have an Instagram page also. You can also check us on Instagram, Flat Flow High Senegambia, And the page on Facebook is also called Flat Flow High Senegambia,
All right.
So what we do is like
Jeff, you wanted to say something?
Well, what I'm saying, go on, do your thing. We can just keep it like that. Don't worry.
So what I'm trying to say is that thank you so much for that marathon introduction. Yeah, that was important to set the pace for our discussion tonight. And then we are very much happy to have someone like you. We will have a follow-up question with regards to some of the things that you outlined. But again, we welcome our brother, Serign Sanneh, to introduce himself. He's someone I'm always like excited to have him on the platform because he brings some kind of technique with regards to expertise, rather, with regards to copyright implementation and management. That is where we talk about money, and then a lot of people are interested in money. So so he is the guy who will tell us exactly how to get those monies with regards to the activities that we do. So Serign, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, Carl. It's whenever you make that introduction, it makes me smile, because the one that always tell people this is how you make money, but you don't make any money yourself. That's me. Yeah. So my name is Serign Sanneh. I'm originally from Brikama, born and bred, but Kiang by origin, like. So basically that's the background. and I did my education and everything in Gambia, and I'm now currently I'm living in Scotland, in Glasgow. So my how do you call it? My pathway to the Gambian music industry. I think I started back in 2006. Yeah, so 2006. That's when I started interacting with Gambian music, and at the time I was just I don't know. It was just one of those things. I was just fascinated about everything that I was seeing, I was hearing, but there's only a few places where you can actually find up-to-date information on Gambian about Gambian music, which at the time was through either Gambian Talents or how do you call it, One Gambia and Energy Sounds. So that inspired me. I also started a blog called Gambuster Records, which I was putting out. I was basically talking to artists and writing a bio for them, and writing a bio together with them, and then putting it out onto newspapers in Gambia like The Observer, The Point, and it gets picked up by all Africa. So it goes across, not only just in Gambia. So I did that for I think till 2010. Then that's when I kind of took a break. But before that, I had updated my website so that it could become downloaded. Like I can sell downloads, because at the time that was the things. And I had a couple of artists that I was going to work with, but then I went to Gambia, and then when I came back, I realized what I was doing at the time. The connection in Gambia, the internet in Gambia was barely non-existent, and there was a big gap in what I was trying to achieve at the time and where the people I was working with were. So there's a big difference, and that kind of knocked my confidence back a little bit. So I took a break, but at the same time, I was studying my my HND in music business at the time, so I continued with that. And through the years, I did a few things, and I started another promotional platform called Your Creativity, but that I was only doing that in Glasgow, like doing some small gigs and a radio show and that kind of stuff. And after that, I go into one or two business ideas, because the head is always on overtime. So again, I'm always moving on to the next thing, basically. So after all that, I decided, okay, I think I have an unfinished business, because I've always had the passion for the music business. That's when I decided to go back and do my my degree. And I'm just about to finish my bachelor's in music business, and I'm trying to specialize in how do you call it, like copyright, music royalties, especially music royalties, because that's one gap in the market in Gambia, in Africa in general, where we're struggling. Even if we have the expertise, there's no legislations that help those people get to work. The infrastructure are lacking, and also the understanding, because there's a lot of how do you call it, a lot of educating that needs to be done, as well as bureaucracy. A lot of education need to be done for the artists themselves to know what the benefits are for them to be to get their works registered, to be part of a collective management organization, so many things. And also for the consumers of copyright to also know that they have a duty to pay for their consumption of music and creative works. So that's what I'm trying to specialize in at the moment. But also on the side, I've got the foundation basically is called Jallow, and Linka, just like Jallow, because the reason is a bit of a tongue-in-cheek choice of name, because the reason being, I remember one time I spoke to my mom, and she was very upset And the reason was, as he said, somebody told her that now I'm a musician. That yeah, so we all know the stigma and all of that, and she was very upset. And I tried to break it down to her to say, you know what, it doesn't change anything. It's at the end of the day, it doesn't mean I'm gonna be an evil person. Yeah. So that's where the name comes from, Jallow. So in Maninka, they call up the musicians Jallow. So that's why I call it Jallow. So what I do with Jallow is one part is publishing. So I'm publishing for Tata Dinding at the moment. We've only managed to put one album out, but we're trying to put a lot of his catalog online because he's got a lot of music that is currently being used in different formats, and he's not getting any reward. He's not an exception. All the Gambian artists are in that category right now. Yes. So again, where I'm trying to specialize, these are some of the things that I hope to bring to the table to by educating them and telling them. Even YouTube, the amount of money that you can get from people making videos of your songs on YouTube, the potential is endless. So also I'm managing a Gambian artist in Scotland called Halifa. He's just put an EP out a couple of months ago, and a Manjago artist in Gambia called Jakos. I've published two of his album and an EP this year. And also one of my brothers, Not Easy, I put a single out, published a single for him a couple of months ago as well. So yeah, so I pretty much that's where I'm at, and I'm excited also to be working on my first project in Guinea-Bissau, which I think should be ready to go live in the next couple of weeks.
Serign. I was saying Fox was doing a marathon, so now it's 1-1. Now I can pretty much say that it's all equal. But I mean, this has set a pace with regards to what we're going to discuss here tonight. I think we will not be able to finish it all, but it's important for us to dilate in some of the important issues that both of you were talking about. And I just want to make some clarity here. You were talking about HND, which is a national
diploma. National diploma, yes.
Where did you attend that? In Scotland, or?
Yeah, it was in Scotland back in 2010.
It was in Scotland. So your main focus was on copyright and also music royalties. Interesting.
At that time, I think I did my project on a booking agency and a record label. That time, that's why I was trying to take Gambosta in that direction.
Okay.
Yeah. So, now with the new focus and my observation in where the gap in the market is, I'm trying to pivot towards royalties and copyright.
Okay, so why the interest? The question will be, why the interest into copyright and music royalties? Is it because of the fact that you have seen a kind of a potential in the music business of the Gambia?
Yeah, Carl, to be honest, a lot of people that really know me, my friends, they'll tell you that I'm always, even walk like I don't do this in 9 to 5. I really hate it. I get bored very easily, so I'm always looking for the next opportunity. So again, it's the same with this. So I'm approaching. I don't like being stuck in because that's what doing the same thing that everybody's doing. I like to be an outsider. I like to be from the outside looking in. So that's the way I am naturally. I'm in passing. Sometimes I'm very, how do you call it? I'm an introvert most of the time. So I have the times you think I'm close in, but I try to fit in, but I realize I don't need to try and fit in. I just need to be me. So that's why I don't try to do what everybody's doing. I just look at what my interest is, where there's potential, and then whether I can fill the gap or not. So that's the way I reason.
Yeah, so because you know, it is interesting even if you sit back, but the interesting word there is the potential.
Yeah.
Can we all agree that there is great potential in the creative economy of the Gambia that we could be able to harness as a people and as a country?
Yeah, indeed. I mean, the potential for me, sometimes I get overdosed just thinking about what could be achieved in Gambia, be it income for the artists, be it jobs that can be created, the infrastructure that could be developed in the process. It's like we can talk about it the whole day and night. There's a lot of potential, but one thing that really frustrates me when you're in Gambia, or when you're trying to do something in Gambia, people always tell you, "Oh, you can't do that." Yes, we can, because the thing is, we're always trying to think of me and what do I need to do to make me better. But
or something now.
Now,
you sow the seeds now and you reap it now.
Thank you. So whereas what the things that I'm doing, it's all the boring stuff. It's all the boring stuff, all the reading and all the long-term planning, like the publishing we started in. Then we put this album out in 2019 online. But this year I went to Gambia. I just came back on the 1st of July. And when I was going, alhamdulillah, I took him an okay check, a paycheck. After 2 years, he didn't have to do nothing. All we had to do is just put it online, and people interacted with the project.
And then you brought him a paycheck. So I don't want Fabs Colley to be lonely, but again, we can start it from here. So this is going to be involving an interactive sharing of ideas, knowledge, and experience with regards to our sector, which we all have interest for. Fabs Colley, yaa ngi dégg suma waay loolu laa la wax ma ne la yafi xaalis bi moom moo ko dee isi loolu moo tax moom buggan always I like him to be on my platform, but it's difficult to get him. Yaa ngi déggal comme lu moo wax, like the potential that we have right now in the Gambia with regards to that creative economy, how we could be able to harness it with the potentials that we have right now. Yow naka nga ko gisee as a Gambian with regards to what is happening right now, the developments taking place, and how do you feel in your own terms?
First of all, man, I'm very, very glad that finally I met a Gambian who is specialized in this copyright thing, because I think that our artists, we've reached now, on a level where our artists need to earn some little bit of money from the works that they're doing, And I was listening to someone, I think today or yesterday, who said that the copyright law in the Gambia has been passed since 2003, or I don't know if it's true or not. And then another thing also, if there should be a copyright law in the Gambia, how will it function? Because for me, I have no idea about it. And still the people I've been listening to, they would never give you an idea of how it would work. So finally, here I am. I met this Serign. I think, my man, you could help us now, and a lot of people are listening to, they will be able to get something from this, So it's not me responding, but asking instead of, a question,
Exactly. Okay. So here's the thing. There's a few. There's no one size answer to this question, because copyright is complicated. Like a song, for example, it starts. For example, I'm just gonna give one quick example about a song. Let's say, for example, a dancehall song. For example, a dancehall song. It depends on the composition of the whole song, from who first composed the song. Because sometimes what we do a lot in Gambia is take somebody's beat, copy it, and add some little bits of different instruments, change it a little bit, and claim it to be ours. and sometimes these can be problematic. So and recently it's also very common that we buy or we lease beats from producers who are selling it to 100 or 1,000 other people, all using the same beats. So it limits how much in the first place you can do with that when it comes to protecting that piece of work. The composition, the song, the lyrics, that could be yours, fine, but right away you're losing a good chunk of potential income from that song, because if for example, when you put it on YouTube, we've all seen it many times, you put a song on YouTube or a video and you get a dispute claim to say, oh, a record label, they claim to own the song because there are underlying issues that needs to be addressed first. We need to understand that we have to create original compositions, original content, not just by duplicating somebody else's work. We have to, in order to be 100% responsible or 100% in charge of our copyright. That's why I like working with these traditional artists, because most of their material is 100% genuine and hassle-free. So I take that as an example. So with those ones, it's easy to protect their work. The modern music, it could be very problematic. It could be a bit difficult sometimes. So that's one example of some things that we need to put right before we can even start going into implementation of the copyright. The other ones are the how do you call it, the performance as well. Again, there's issues when it comes to the performance of copyright, because we're creating songs, creating events, but there's no proper agreements as to who is owning what. Declaration, we're not declaring who owns what right in a production or in a song or in a performance. So there's so many things. That's why I said earlier, we have to do a lot of educating. We need to educate ourselves about a lot of these things. You don't need to necessarily go and read a whole book or a website. It's just basic top of a basic summary of things to just have a small understanding.
I just want to come in because I see something interesting, and then I have to highlight this, and then I will share it with the public, and I will share it with you also. Uncle Badu Basket, he is a composer, and then he is a great musician from the Gambia. He was in the Fambondis before he was the band leader. But for us to get the discussion right here, that is the reason why when I am sharing my program, I always say the creative industry. So I am not focusing only on an artist who is holding a microphone and performing, or a singer. I'm talking about even a composer. I'm talking about even a songwriter. I'm talking about people who write music. I'm talking about even someone who is doing drama. I'm talking about someone who is involved in film. I'm talking about someone who is just a writer. He is writing books, because we have the Writers Association of the Gambia. We have so many writers who publish a lot of books in the Gambia. The Hassan Sisses, you go to Momodu Sabali, you go to a lot of people who wrote books in the Gambia. You also have a lot of people who are active in theater and dance. All these people, they have a stake in copyright implementation. It is not only focusing on musicians, and particularly musicians who are singing. So Uncle is saying artists are not necessarily music creators. Composers, like text writers and music creators are not necessarily performing or recording artists. So we understand all that.
Yes,
we understand that absolutely. What we are trying to say is that we have a young Masing, and the young Masing is the Gambia cultural sector is a young machine. After 50 years or after independence, we have a sector, and we want to ensure that this sector, how can it be an enabler for sustainable development or social transformation in the Gambia? And based on that fact, we are trying to see how experts like you and then people who are involved in the creative sector who are trying a little bit, could we be able to encourage them and to give them that knowledge that they are lacking and that professionalism so that we can move forward as a country. So it's not that we are saying, oh yeah, when the implementation have to start today, everything have to be right now. So that is why we are getting opinions from everybody. So the government of the Gambia enacted the Copyright Act. And during that period, a lot of people were not like Serign, who could be able to tell people what the copyright is all about, as Colley is talking about. And when the time Ifambone was traveling to Europe during those periods, a lot of their band leaders were not even aware of the copyright engagements. So someone have to tell them, okay, because you are making a product, so this is how you have to do it. This is how to do it. You have to do it until by the time they will graduate from that level of traveling from Africa, coming to Europe and signed by big labels. That was the time some of them also started to understand. So now we are living in a global world whereby there are international regulations. The World Intellectual Property Organization, which is WIPO, have an instrument, and Gambia is a signatory to that. The UNESCO Convention on the Promotion of Cultural Diversity, Gambia is, is a signatory to that. Gambia is also part of the AU, and the AU have a plan of action for cultural industries, and it mentioned the implementation of copyright. So we are interested in that. So the discussion is, how can we discuss as a family, as a Gambian family, to be able to know what could we do better and what should be improved and how we could get there to become professionals with regards to all the sectors that we are talking about. So we are not just focusing on only artists who are singing, because most of the time, a lot of people will say, oh, you are promoting Gambian musicians, but these musicians, they only sing, they cannot compose. But there are some. Kebatelo is in Gambia. Kebatelo is a composer. Sure. You have Tata Dinding. Tata Dinding is a singer, and then he got his
composer.
So yeah, they compose. Yeah, he composed. So what we are saying is to protect people who are doing it right. The people who are doing it right, they need their basic human right so that they could be protected in an environment whereby the laws are already there. So that is what we are talking about. So if anyone is not doing it right, that is not our business. When you are caught and then the copyright the copyright enforcing policing officers came and said, okay, you infringe on the right of another person, then that is for you to pay. But we are talking about DJ Limbo doing the right thing and then getting his sounds, because DJ Limbo was here last time. Colley is managing DJ Limbo. He told us that he got a beat all the way from Mexico. So he bought the beat. So he got all the rights to sing on the beat because he already bought the beat from the person who made it. So he did not steal it. So that is opposed to other people who are like stealing from other people. So we are talking about how to make it all right. Even those who are stealing, then it is important for them to know, like you said, for them to be educated to know you are doing this, but it is right. And that is why our platform is meant to educate, share experience, knowledge, and ideas with people. And that's what we are doing. So we are not here to say, oh, what we are saying is the right thing, or this is how it has to be. So I just want to make this statement because we've been attacked so many times with regards to some of the things that we are doing. And I think we are doing this for the sake of the Gambia, because no country ever developed without dialogue. And then we have to start, as Gambians, we have to start the dialogue now. So that is what we are interested in. Yeah.
Carl,
You may continue. Yeah, that
yeah,
was just a statement to get the ball rolling.
okay, okay.
Yeah,
that's true. That's true.
Can I just add something to that? That's why I said I'll give an example as one song, just one example, because copyright, like, is it's a whole minefield. Even the people that paint pictures on the streets in Gambia that we don't value, they have their own a copyright over what the works they're creating. So, however, Gambia, we are very, very, very far behind because one, we need a collective management organization that will be able to manage the rights of the creators of copyright, and then they will be the ones who will enforce the copyright. Simply having a copyright law in Gambia does not make any difference. When you go to Senegal, they've got SODAV. The last time I had this exchange with how do you call it, with Uncle Badu, and we were saying that perhaps Gambia could collaborate with SODAV if Gambia is unable to start its own copyright management society as the quickest entry point to the market. Because right now, the Gambian music industry, I'm just using the music industry as an example. It is the film, there's all the other industries, but I'll just stick to music industry for the purpose of this conversation. The Gambian music industry is losing millions. My theory, the last time we had this conversation, for example, if you look at the taxi drivers in Gambia, for example, in Senegal, taxi drivers, shops, even mosques and churches, they all pay royalties for playing a recitation of Quran in the mosque, because somebody create the recording, the mechanical recording, all of that. So in Gambia, it's the same. If, for example, we have the taxi drivers, the shops in the markets, they're all paying at least, I always say $100. It doesn't have to be expensive. We could start with even with an introduction, even if it's $100. Imagine how many shops are in just KMC. $100 by for example, even 25,000 shops. How much is that?
That is 25,000. Yeah.
2.5 million at least.
2.5 million. Yeah. 2.5 million. Yeah.
By 25,000. That's easy. So but we have to start with the foundation. There has to be a collective management a society that represents the owners of copyright.
Exactly.
Artists, the same way they're registering with the musicians union, they have to go and register with the CMO, get their works registered. You cannot expect the copyright the CMO to protect your works if you're not a registered member. Through that, they will have reciprocal agreements with SODAV and all the others CMOs around the world, where they will be able to claim their royalties, even if their music is played in the US, in Europe. The CMO in Gambia will be able to contact them and say, hey, my artist performed, can we have their money? And their money will be sent to the Gambia. And
I just want to make a statement there also, because in the definition of copyright or collective management and royalty collection, collective management and collective bargaining, it is in two folds, and the two important folds are it encourages a dynamic creative culture, and then it gives back revenue to the creators.
Yeah.
So, like the dynamic creative culture it is talking about, that is to say, because of the regulation, because of the legal framework that it's set aside, that you have to be a creator for a copyright to belong to you, then that will improve the musicians, because they will know that, I have to do something that belongs to me, not someone else. And then secondly, by doing so, that gives you money again in return, because the moment people use that content, you are going to receive money out of that. So I think the systems that we are talking about is about the foundation, and the foundation is the collective society,
Management.
collective management. And I am proud to tell you that we have it in the Gambia. So we have a collective society
But it's not functional.
That is born but not fully funded, and it's important that the director will be here with us, and we can talk about. He will introduce us into that system for people to understand exactly what is really happening in the Gambia. So, Fax Colley, Daniel Balal, you will just balal us a little bit and introduce the director. Mr. Director, Sheikh Omar Jallow, I don't know whether you are hearing us, but I think something is starting here, and we need your support so that we could be able to know what is established in the Gambia and how do you think we could be able to benefit from that. So welcome to the show, Mr. Director, Sheikh Omar Jallow.
Thank you very much, Kalilu. I hope you can hear me very well this time.
Loud and clear, sir. We just have to see your face a little bit. So if you can do like this so that we can see you, because you are like this. Yeah.
Is this okay now?
That is
or do
okay.
I still have to go for more light?
No. This one is good. And if you can, this one is good.
Is that right?
All right. Okay, Carl. Thank you very much. Carl, once again, I would like to say hello to your audience and then your followers, people who've been following your debates and discussions. And I would like to say assalamu alaikum to the colleagues I found here today. Fabs, Colley, and of course, is it Serign? Serign, how are you all doing?
Alhamdulillah, bro. How are you?
We are
wonderful.
Fine. We are
it's
fine.
Good.
Great to have you here.
Yeah, okay. It's good that I was following the discussions, in fact, before I come online, because I was notified by somebody that, hey, you need to go online to clarify some points, which I think some of the speakers are erroneously misunderstanding, or they are not getting the proper information. You need to help. So I had to rush over to, in fact, that's why I'm using a phone. I had to struggle with my phone to see how do I come on this StreamYard with a phone. Instead, usually I'm used to I'm very much used to the laptop. So thank you very much. I think as I heard Serign actually deliberating, I know I'm very happy to hear a colleague, somebody who is an expert or who is actually a little bit educated in the copyright. Now the list is going up. So I think now I am starting to build a data bank, a data bank of copyright experts, people who are knowledgeable about copyright and people who are actually in the industry. And so I would say, Serign, you're welcome. I'll put you in my data bank. It's good that I know there is somebody overseas around there by the name Serign, who is also a little bit knowledgeable about this, because these are the things that we need and we really had to push up. Maybe, Serign, for your information, and particularly for that of Fabs also, is that, yes, there has been a law called the Copyright Act since 2004. In fact, since 2004. And we started implementing it very lately. It was way down up to 2012. Since 2012, the copyright law has been implemented in the Gambia. We have taken series of cases that are at court right now and have been in court for a series of almost like 3-4 years. And people have already been taken to jail, and people's properties have been sold because of infringement on copyright. We have a series of cases that I can elaborate for from now till in the morning, whether it's music, whether it's film. So there are various areas that infringement of copyright had happened, and they are litigated in the Supreme Court. And the cases, some have been won and compensated, and some are still on the litigation process. So we have been working on this for the past 12 years, so rather for the past 10 years or so, and it has been going on. And maybe for your information as well, the only challenge that we have, it's particularly about the CMO. We have a CMO called the Collecting Society of the Gambia. Kalilu is very much okay with that, because we had set it also since 2012. And primarily, the CMO had been working. Almost this is the third executive. There was a first executive that their period expired, and a second executive took over. They also, their term expired, and it is actually just last 6 months that we have a new executive in place. And this executive is actually headed by Dr. Cherno Omar Bari. He is the executive secretary at the National Human Rights Commission in the Gambia. And he is the executive, he is the president of the Collecting Society of the Gambia. In fact, it's just today, this morning, that we were having our third meeting since their inauguration, putting up the strategic plan and then the work plan that the society needs for implementation, so that we can do without, we can make sure that collection is able to be effective. As you may be aware, there is 2 tiers of system in our copyright legislation. And that is one, the Copyright Office, which is directly under my office at the National Center for Arts and Culture. That is owned by government, because their principal role in the act is fight against piracy, enforcement of regulations, and of course the law, and making sure that, because that's the institution that has the power to be able to prosecute and actually to be able to regulate. So that is actually to do a fair play on that. That is the role of the office, that is the Copyright Office.
Yeah.
The second tier is handled by the Collecting Society of the Gambia. The Collecting Society of the Gambia is the only institution that can be mandated by artists, power of attorneys, to collect, negotiate, collect, and distribute to artists. They are the only institution that have that power. And unfortunately, that is where the problem has been lying up till now. Because with the 2 executives that have been rolling on, the institutional setup that they needed was so high, and they have been very much dependent on government. And trying to get government will have to give us seed money. So the first executive waited for 4 years waiting for seed money, and seed money never came from government. And government did not took it as a priority, because the cultural industry is not making any tax. There is no revenue coming from this cultural industry directly to government, I'm quite sure. And there is no particular, that is why the sector is actually, the amount of money dedicated to the sector is 0.0005% of our GDP. This is what is paid into the cultural sector. I mean 0.0005%, 3 zeros, 5%.
Yeah.
So if you look at the amount of the significance that government is looking at it, because I will tell you honestly, you will go around here, particularly with the artistic culture, and then our artists, how many of them are even paying tax? I'm saying direct tax. I'm not saying indirect tax. It's a challenge, because we have not been able to tabulate even the contribution of the cultural industry and then the creative industry into our GDP. We try to handle that. I think Colley was part of that team around 2012, 2013, 2014 with WIPO. And in the end, we cannot even have a proper statistics that could even show the contribution of the creative industry into our GDP. That is a challenge. And we are still fighting to be able to do that, because this was going to be a lobby tool. Because if tourism is saying, for example, they are contributing 18% of GDP into the government, of course, government will give a lot of money. That's why the tourism board is richer than the NCAC. And now, overnight, they turn out to say, no, we are not only making 18% of GDP, but we are making 20%. Is that scientific? That is a challenge. But these are the things that the institution or the industry have not been able to quantify. We are not quantifying it. We are not actually measuring those things. But to come back to copyright again, the challenge was about this. How do the collecting society go out there in the field and negotiate? They do not have, they need a secretariat, because the board is a board but they need a functional secretariat. And that was a challenge to be able to have got that. So that means the collecting society could not have been functional because there is no money. And that executive went until their period expired. The second executive came in again, which we had always advised that, my brother, you are an independent, autonomous body, corporate. You don't need to wait for government. You need to go out there and make your own plans and make your own things, because government is going to waste your time. And I am part of government because I was advising them this, but they never paid heed to it. But they are saying that it's their right, government needs to give them seed money, blah, blah. They had been waiting until their 4 years also expired. In fact, they overstayed. We had to force them to go to Congress. In fact, in the end, all of them resigned except the president. So that was also another challenge. In fact, they overstay all the time, and with their associations, it always brings in a fight in which they always blame my office that I am dictatorial, I interfere into the affairs. Because if I don't interfere, things don't work. And the thing is, again, I had to do that for the third time and say again, you have to go back to Congress and make sure that you are able to fulfill the mandate of your people. Because if you don't do that, it's a challenge. And they also had to wait for another 4 years to wait for government to give them seed money. In the end, government did not give another seed money again. The second executive, their term expired. Now we are working with the third executive. And this executive, thank God, with COVID, government was able to disburse some money to all the artistic associations, excepting this collecting society again. So now all these artistic associations now, I was actually co-opted in now as their secretary. So I had to advise all the artistic associations, now you need to start your contribution. So thank God, today we have finalized all the payments of the artistic association, whether Writers Association, the film producers, the theater, the dance, all of them had paid money to the collecting society, and we have a functional account now. So basically, the status quo is being set and rolled out. And going back forward to fast forward, which is the sad thing is the whole of this period, Kalilu, you know that the institution, what a lot of artists do not understand is they have not been getting information, which we have been doing 1 million workshops and sensitizations to educate the people. But it's that same people who will come back to you and say, no, I do not understand that copyright is in the country.
Yeah.
We have a whole lot of workshops. I do not think I have attended or organized any workshop in my lifetime more than what I have done in copyright. But yet still, it's those same artists. And I don't think I have ever had any more, any kind of a radio program or TV program more than I have done on television about copyright. And it's not the only institution.
I think I will also have my stand here. Maybe the NCSC should be able to accord me with a kind of a recommendation to say, Kalilu, you've been doing this for quite a... I am consistent with the training that I receive from you, and also the training that I received from Mandimori Foundation for Performing Arts.
Kalilu? Yes, I think yours is well commended. We will wait for that when things happen. You don't have to blow your own trumpet right now, because we know what you have contributed, and you know that it's always in my report. I have shared some of my reports with you, so you don't have to worry about it. But I just want to give an overall view here, which is about the misunderstanding that our own Gambian artists are actually, because most of them, they are just sitting in their little corners, feeling that what they are doing is right, and they don't need any information, they don't need any education from anybody, and then they are doing their things right, they are okay. So the situation is, Hakim, today, if the collecting society of the Gambia is collecting any royalty for anybody in this country, Carl, we are only collecting 2 works. That is Hakim. Hakim, a very intelligent musician, and thank God, he is not the type that will just sit there and wait for anybody to tell him what to do. He came, and he is the only musician who has given the power of attorney to the collecting society of the Gambia to receive on his behalf. It's only the music of Hakim that the collecting society of the Gambia can collect. And any other musician in this country, Carl, we cannot collect. The collecting society cannot collect on your behalf because the law says you must give a power of attorney to the collecting society so that they can collect you on your behalf. Okay. And I think maybe, I'm not sure if that is what Serign has learned in other parts of the country or the world, what is happening there. But our law says,
that is
our law says, our law says you cannot, the collecting society can only collect on behalf of people or artists who have given power of attorneys. And we have advocated this for almost 7 years. We are talking about, but still, Carl, the only money we have collected is for G and Hakim from Africell, about $350,000. This is about some 3 or 4 years ago. And when from ringtones. So right now we cannot collect on behalf of any artist. No artist can receive a royalty in this country other than Hakim. Hakim is the only one who gave power of attorney.
I want to inform you that the letter that was sent to Hakim, if I can say, I was a boy. So I was the one who took the letter to Africell manager for them to sign that document. So it was secretly done because Africell doesn't want it to be exposed to the community for the people to know what was really going on. So I can confirm that money was paid to G and Hakim. But something important came also. Uncle Badu Basket is saying that the misconception is that artists are always considered to be equivalent to big creators, whereas only very few are actually creators. That is very true. Serign, what do you say about that? But I think we also have creators in the Gambia. Like I said, we have people who are writing books. Sukai Bojang wrote a book some time ago, and then the director did not talk about that, but I had an experience in that, and I'm going to say that here. There was a school in the Gambia that reproduced those books. And then Sukai
it's Peasant Sonko Godwin.
Peasant Sonko Godwin, and then she filed a case in the courts. What happened, Mr. Director?
Yeah, that case, once it's being realized that her books, her history books, which she was writing, which she wrote for the school system, it was being copied, it was being pirated, like copied. The textbooks were not selling. So it was actually a school in Brickhammer that was one of the teachers was copying and selling to students. This was put to our notice. We went to investigate and got hold of the materials, and then the guys were prosecuted. And yet still, what happens in that case again? When the guy was prosecuted and then the school was charged a lot of money, the Supreme Court says the school have to pay it because the teacher and was doing it on behalf of the school, and the school never actually reacted to it. And in fact, they did some plagiarism on that. The school was shut down. Parents had to run to Patient Sonko Godwin to appeal. These families and people had to run down there to appeal because they were going to shut down because the school cannot pay that amount of millions that needs to be compensated to Patient Sonko Godwin. It's her right. So she had to even use mercy and say in the end, okay, I will not take 11 million. I would rather take 1 million. Even 1 million for the school to pay, it's almost 5 years. The school cannot still finish the payment. Every year or term, they'll pay maybe, 100,000, 150,000, 50,000. She's even getting discouraged. For almost like 5 years, we are still going. They're still paying this money. It's still not finished.
Okay. So that is an important information. But Serign, you hear the director, Fax Colley, Degangen director. It's not about 2 minutes. No, director, you will come. It's interactive today. So calm down.
I also have a question, but
get your coffee and relax, and then you listen to our experts here too.
Serign, Fax, you go first because I think I have a few.
Yeah.
No, what I'm saying is I let you go because this is your field, and I have only few questions to ask to the director.
You go first because you go first. Me right now, I feel like Me and the director should have sat down when I was in Gambia. Like I'm learning so much that even reports from WIPO and Aripo never. I've got some text that I've been doing my research on about like CMO, and it's refreshing. With all honesty, honestly, some of these cases that you're saying, it's good to see that these things are happening.
One thing that came out, it is the should I say this? I don't want tomorrow I get out of this interview tomorrow, and as usual, as Gambians will treat people. Now there is some kind of adamancy that is coming from our Gambian creators and our Gambian artists and musicians. The director said it here. A lot of the musicians were educated about this copyright, implementation and what they actually need to do. But facts, the artists are not registering with these bodies. They don't even want to know. Now, tell me, in the last 1 year or the 2 year, let us just be honest with each other. There were so many engagements in the Gambia where artists were able to make more than 5 million Gambian dollars. So if you add all those artists together with the institutions that are supporting them, including the Copyright Collecting Society, don't you think they could be able to generate that amount of $1 million that will be able to support their own institution that is going to protect them and at the same time protect their individual interests collectively?
All right. For me, it means that the copyright law is in effect, if I understand the director well.
Very well indeed.
All right. So it means all they need to do is just to go to the CMO and then give a power of attorney, and they will be getting their royalties. That's the only thing they need to do.
Period. That's all.
That's all.
But then for me, I have nothing to say because this is what I want to know. Why is it? For me, I thought it's not in effect. But if it's in effect, then I have nothing to say about it. They need to do what they have to do. That's it.
It's only one person, as I said, it's only one person who is the only intelligent musician in this country, that we are collecting for, and that is Hakim.
Okay.
and hold on, Sanneh also. But how are they going to collect these royalties, and how would they know where their musics are being played in which radio station? How do you control this? Because this is also something that I don't know. That's what I was asking. That's what I was asking.
Yes. Actually, right now, what we are doing the unscientific method. In royalty collections, there are two methods. One is the scientific method, which has to go with the data and statistics, and you are able to monitor it. We do not have those equipment and materials right now. The other strategy is to use unscientific method. And the unscientific method is negotiation. We come to GRTS, we said, you've been playing Hakim's music. And I think out of it, then we just give an average. Out of the average that we think that you have played this music of Hakim, we think that you have played it maybe every day 3 times or 4 times, depending on what we have seen, the trending of that music. Maybe out of that, then you have played it maybe within the month, you have played it at least 6 times or 7 times in the year or in the month. Then we quantify that with the pricing that we can negotiate and say, now, please, GRTS, we think you should pay a check of 30,000 or 40,000 or 50,000 or 80,000 to Hakim.
How about the radio
This
station?
is the unscientific method. The same thing with the radio stations. It's unquantified right now. It's unscientific. So we cannot quantify it. All that we can do is go to QTV or radio and any of the outlets, even the bars and restaurants, the nightclubs, and the hotels, even the taxi drivers. We can collect those things from where we are going to wait for them at their licensing. Pura is ready to help us with the GSMs.
Exactly.
So all these factors, we know about all these things. But the fact is, who are we going to collect for? There is nobody we are going to collect for. There is nobody who is legible here. No artist is legible here. It's only Hakim.
So now, Mr. Director, I just want that part to be clear. Maybe that is that is a kind of encouragement, and Serign started on that. Maybe he can dilate on that. So Serign, we just want to know the indicators of the economies that are within the Gambian environment. If you can just, as per what the director is saying now, the indicators. Yeah.
I think, Carl, what I heard from the director is nothing but sheer frustration of trying to help people that don't realize they have been helped. And honest, with all honesty, I've got my hats off to you, because from what you're saying, it's like the same thing that I've been writing about, the same thing that I've been researching. It's all about education, and you've been doing that, but still the musicians, let's just stick to music for the purpose of this, the musicians don't realize that these are the things they need to do to even get residual income. Even in case of an emergency, they cannot sing anymore if they're not registered to have their work pay for them in future. How can we even have a sustainable industry? So these are there are a lot of things that needs to be done. Like the director said earlier, the CMO cannot rely wholly on the government for funding. In most countries, you get an average of, I think, about 30% that the CMO, and it's not universal. Every country has a different rate. But I'm just giving an average, an example. Some countries, they'll take 30% from all the royalties they collect that goes towards the operation of the CMO. And then the other, they can apply for grants from governments, from institutions like UNESCO, and being members of WIPO, ARIPO, CSAC. Those organizations help with soft systems like WIPO Connect, for example, which automates the collection of, which automates your repertoire.
Yeah, the database. Yeah,
the database. So again, those things you cannot do when you don't have anyone to collect for. So, like the director says, the setup is there. It's the members that need to register and authorize the CMO to say, please go and collect my royalties. Then the CMO will be active. They can put, they can work in collaboration with WIPO and ARIPO to write better tariffs and say, okay, for TV stations, these are the peak time tariffs. And if it's the documentary, if it's a feature film, if it's just music videos, these are the tariffs for that. Radio stations, shops, taxi drivers, all of them. Is it 4 passenger? Is it 18 passenger? Is it a school bus? No, is it a bus? Or is it in a bank where they're playing background music? But again, it all goes back to having members. If people are not registering to the CMO, then we're going to be at this place for a long time.
Yeah. Okay, so I just want to send something to Sheikh Omar, because he talked about the Copyright Office and he also talked about the CMO, the CSG, and then 3 things that he lamented on was the fight against piracy and enforcement and regulation. So I just want to help here. Somebody is saying that we have to make a playlist and mandatory from all radio and TV stations and nightclubs. So if NCAC, through their powers and mandate on with regards to enforcement and regulation, if they make sure that this is regulated in the Gambia, don't you think the artists now will be forced to join the CSG or to register with
Carl? Yeah. I think, as I said, the mandate of the Copyright Office, for us, we have been very functional. Our work is going fine, and which is one, I would tell you one, the regulations. We had got the copyright regulation, it's signed and it's in effect. But it's very hard for even people to download it on the NCAC website or even to research about the copyright regulation. It has been online since 2017. So the copyright regulation is there, the act is there, so the instruments are all there. We have set up a unit, an IP unit, a copyright unit at the police for enforcement. It's just a question of telephone call. I just take a telephone call and say there is an infringement happening here and there. Then there I have a full police unit that is right behind me, and then I do what I need to do on that ground. You are aware when Jaliba Kouyate's album in 2018 or 2019 was pirated in the market. I cleaned the whole of Westfield, because you know how Westfield used to be with these kinds of, DVDs and CDs and what they were selling around Westfield. I had to clean the whole of Westfield. But in the end, even whereas I did that, I packed all those 35 pirates from Serekunda Market, Ganao Market, Brikama Market, and Banjul Market, all of them arrested. 35 culprits. When I took them over for prosecution at the Supreme Court, you know what Jaliba Kouyaté end up saying? No, leave them here. They are my fans. Please, I don't want to prosecute them. I don't want to take them to jail. What do we have there again?
Yeah.
The owner whom we are fighting for and trying to regulate for his behalf, because infringement happened on his product and his wealth. He said he is not coming to court and he is not prosecuting none of those 35 people because they are his fans. They like him. That's why they are pirating his work and selling it.
Wow.
We were stuck. We had to walk out of that court and drop the case on all those people. In fact, they made us a laughing stock.
Yeah.
So these are things that shows that we are implementing as far as our office is concerned, our sector. And I can name you, most of them. I can name you a lot of artists who have infringed each other's work, and I have prosecuted them.
Yeah, but
I have a whole list.
I have a follow-up question on my boss. My boss, because you are teaching us with knowledge, but we also want to help you also. Now, you are doing your job as a center, and then there are some collections that you are doing. So the collections that you are doing with regards to enforcement and with regard to the regulation, are you having any collaboration with the GRA, the Gambia Revenue Authority, for them to make deductions on those payments that are coming to you, so that could be a start for quantifying the contribution of the cultural industries in the Gambia? Because you said you are lacking an indicator to say this is what the cultural sectors are contributing to the economy.
Yeah, Carl, unfortunately, the collections that you are saying, I think they differ in here. Because the only collection that my office is making, apart from artist registrations, it's non-resident artist licensing.
Licensing, okay.
That is actually completely different from copyright. That has nothing to do with copyright.
I think.
Let me clarify that.
What I'm trying to say there is that it doesn't matter whether it has to do with copyright, but what I'm saying, the economy, the indicators which are producing money, like for us to be able to have a levied fee on them that will go directly through the revenue authority to be able to ascertain and indicate a little bit of revenue that is going to the government coffer. If you can introduce
Yes, Carl. The unscientific forecast that we looked at this from the previous initiatives that we had done, we know that the industry is losing about 30 million. This is like 2018. Oh no, 2015, 2016. We know the industry was losing about 30 million $30 million. That is actually what was going in vain every month.
Every month.
That was every month. Whoa. That was what was going in vain from the creative sector, because the sector is very powerful. So, my brother, you have a lot of input that comes in there. Apart from the handicraft, it's working very well. And one of the main trade-in services that we have in the country here, one of the main trade-in services is the cultural sector, is the culture and creative sector that we export. One of the main trade-in services that the Gambia exports in Mod 3 of GATS, which is the General Agreement of Trade Tariffs under the World Trade Organization. That is Mod 4. The only trade in services, the highest trade in services revenue earner in this country is the culture and creative industry. You know what that means? How many lawyers are going out there to give services in UK? How many lawyers do you have who are going outside of the Gambia to go and give services in UK? How many carpenters? No, it's not more than the artists. The artists go more than any other industry in this country, travel outside of to go and bring foreign currency. The artists do it. It is the cultural industry because the handicraft is sold. The fashion is selling. The musicians are selling. They are traveling and they are coming back. Their musics are going, they are making money. So in terms of that sector, there is no, the architectures, how many architectures do you hear who go out there in UK or in Babylon or even in Senegal to do a great architectural work down there? Not many. And how many doctors do you hear who will leave the Gambia here, go and do a big practicing in UK or in Germany or in Switzerland or in Senegal or even in Mali and come back in the Gambia? How many do you hear?
A lot.
So you know that the highest trade in services, the highest industry, the industry that has the highest trade in service in this country is the culture and creative industry. It's our industry. But it's not quantified, as I said. This was some of the challenges that we are fighting to make sure we are able to get that, and then we will be using that as a lobby tool. But coming back to copyright still, in that other sector, as I said, the challenge there is for the artists to learn that they need to come forward and not to protect their work, but give power of, because what they come down to do copyright at the NCAC is just to create that repertoire, and so that we recognize that you have actually tendered your work. But copyright does not even need registration. It's automatic.
Yeah.
Copyright is automatic. It's not, it doesn't even need registration. As long as you can keep your first works, you can surrender it, and then there are even ways and means that you can do your copyright without even coming to register it at the NCAs. But you see a lot of them will come and register it.
You can post it to yourself.
They can post it to themselves. It's a proof of copyright. So, but they are not caring. That is what they care, to protect their work. We have a lot of works that are actually submitted at the NCAC for protection. But going to the CSG to give them a power of attorney that I want you to collect royalty on my behalf, that is where they have zero knowledge. And I think that's where your dilation needs to really come over to make sure that they are educated.
So we will continue to do that. Serign, factually, dama buga pour nga ñew fofu nono, because you know what, you are highly respected. You have a very good rapport with our young musicians and then promoters, and then some people who are investing in the sector. What do you think what the director is saying? Because for me, I'm speechless. I've been speechless for quite for so many years now, and still that is the same. Sometimes because what the director is saying, people like us, we are seeing it. Like it's like a shadow that we are seeing, and we know they can make it, but they don't. The little click bu fa nek bo xamne lolou la gay wara understand pour ñom ci sen bopa ñu enrich sen bopa ñu jappalé sen family ci mo way da nga gis na it is like comme ku nek just want to sit in your own kingdom and say I'm the best, I'm the one who do this, I'm the biggest, I'm the baddest, I'm so
Kal bala ma yokal la fi tuuti rek Kal bala ma yokal la tuuti xam nga legi man li ma xalaat I want to resign from the job, ma set up suma own private CMO, ma jël suma ñaari o ñetti artist. Kal billahi wan malako within 1 year I will be a millionaire. Dina la jëndal moto.
Wa man
man na ngi liggéey de.
Man anda nasi.
Manene Serign kaay jël suma place ma dem private. within 1 year Serign ma jëndal la moto.
No, Serign is here, but
Wow, man dama over relief right now, so because comme nu ma la ko waxee woon man mënuma woon a xam nothing naka la affaire yi di woogee biir Gambia foofu noonu so si sa show yi mooy Kalilu show bu mu organise nii foofu laa door di mun a xamee sax luy CNCA ak yi yëpp nii mënuma ko woon a xam bi ko dama try pour xam fu nekka mënuma xamee fu nekka ba pare artiste yi nga contact si boppam comme yow ni nga wax nii loolu la gaay di wax copyright bi dafa war a ñëw waaye naka la war a ñëwee naka la moo woogee naka la moo mosuma woon a xam ne lii mu ngi in effect waaye xam naa copyright was there since pass nañ ko depuis 2004 loolu xam naa ko waaye léegi may lan moo tax kon nekkul in effect waaye comme que nga dem mooy dañu dafa am lu ñu war a def pour ñu mun a ñëw egga foofu noonu so man lu ma mun a fa mu nekk nii mooy su fekkee ne artistes yi ñu ngi maa dégga please baal leen ñu rek ngeen jóg ngeen dem ngeen def lu ngeen war a def su ko defee ngeen mën a lekk seen xaalis lii du xaalis yi kenn seen xaalis la yéen seen bopp yéen a ko moom te pare yéen a ngi liggéey bu rafet boo xam ne nii toolu ngeen foo xam ne fu mu nekk nii da ngeen war a fay seen bopp ba pare musique bi daf leen war a fay xam nga loolu laa foog daal si lu ma foog ba pare man moom topic bi su jeexee moom mooy topic bu ñu doon waxtaan last week boobu tam na ci war a ñëw after boobu bëgg naa waxtaan ak directeur bi pour ma
Kaal gis nga gaay dañ yéexa bi ba fi mu nekk nii man suma boppa suñ office bi NCAC si boppam ñooy mujjee léegi dafa am fond buñ amoon si UNESCO about 3 months ago for sensitization on the COVID-19 bi ñu doon the executive producers for a music video ak some songs which I am promising you, Carl. Mooy nekk the first mix yow Sambu Suso moo ci woy Awa Gambia ak Janhabini Mariama Cham,
yeah, the young
Raki Barhama waaw ñoom ñoo woy ci musique yooyu noonu man ko launch with UN ak UNESCO on the 17th of this month muy Tuesday bi ñëw bi ci tegu.
Okay, August, yeah.
Waaye gis nga tey jii laa binda a power of attorney to the CSG te musique bi sa loncaguñ ko tey laa submit loolu pour wan gaay ne naka la affaire yi mais because dama bëgg a wan gaay ne léegi yéen a ngay yaaga dóor seen musique ak yoonu léegi NCAC am nañ seen first music bi nga xam ne loolu la gaay because it's a commission paid job la ñun ñoo fay ñii ñëpp gaay it's not their original job because dama leen put on contract bi explicit everything from beginning bi lan lañ moom lan la moom lan la NCAC moom ak everything tey laa dugal loolu pour joxe the power of attorney to the CSG ne la ne NCAC dugal na a power of attorney pour ngeen collect on behalf of these 3 music scene yi ngeen collect on their behalf of royalties. The first royalties in 6 months time it will be these 3 artists yi Hana ak bu kini bi Hakim bi just pour ma woon leen yoon ne nii lañ ko dee defee ak dafa am yoon.
Yeah,
bell the cat.
Yeah, you cannot just
so I'm trying. NCAC is belling the cat now.
And tell a radio station to pay you, and then settle kini dohi bandi. Mane Senegalese dem nensa. I will give you a scenario. Senegalese dem nensa. They try to get the dohi bandi into a drama series. Why? The moment they realized that it was copyrighted. The one that was going for the TV programs, dafa them to live TV, so they tried to take it out. So the one they were putting on YouTube and the social medias, because they were intelligent because they knew to the fact that
no TV program then YouTube for send royalties
because xam nañ ne su ko gaay defee YouTube immediately rek alert bi dafa ñëw ne lii doo leen ko mën a use because of kii moo ko moom so lu nekk on the live TV bi because boobu noonu DJ Limbo probably he is not registered with Sodak so da nga gis ne boobu dafa dem scot free so da nga gis ne but the YouTube one they knew that when they put it on YouTube then da nga gis ne immediately alert bi dafa ñëw because DJ Limbo is registered in Australia So you see, and then they are doing that to our international Gambian artist, Jallow Kuyate. We were in a copyright discourse, Omar, you could remember that at the Congress of the Gambia Music Union, when Jallow realized to the fact that dafa am songs yoo xam ne moom daf ko defoon, an example, Abdou Chubalo, dafa jël his style, his flow, and then the beating, mu remix ko, you know, mu def ko nakinyolo munamu diality munamu seyo. So yeah, Abu Chubalo jël na lolu nono, the same melody mu lifin ko, and Senegalese are doing it to the Gambians. You go to record there, they put all the music in their computer database, and later on they listen to the melodies, they listen to the, you know, so traditional living flow, because the music coming from the Gambia and the one coming from Senegal, and some of our elder musicians understand lolu nono. That is the reason why they don't even go to Senegal to do their records there. I'm not sure whether I'm going too much, but
Serign wants to say something. Serign wants to say something.
Yeah, it's just about Dohi Bandi. So basically it's still not lost, Nyakulen everything, because if you can go, I would first as soon as possible register with CSG. After Lolu Nono, then follow up with SODAV. So if you feel a CSG, it's gonna take time putting more requests and royalties from SODAV. And then the other one is royalties unique YouTube. I'm showing a send distributor. You can see some from
Bob Mom is alright.
Good. So I think right now Lingen Munadef register with CSG as soon as possible. All your works, man. I am going to a director. I will after this. I'll get your contact because I need to get all my artists to register their works. So you'll have some more artists, inshallah, coming your way. But however, I think one thing that is really lacking, CSG need to be equally, probably even more right now, seen the same way as the musicians union, as any other institution in the Gambia. Because if CSG is actually on social media, it's got a website that gives you all this information. This is how you register. This is how much it's going to cost to register, and this is how much you need. This is how you license your premises. I think I'm coming. I can see you shaking your head. I'm coming.
Yeah. Okay. There is already.
I think it's not the end of the troubles. However, it is a step in the right direction, because nobody will have any more excuse to say, oh, but I don't know about CSG. I don't know how to register. I don't know how much it costs. I don't know where the form is. I think the basic, the foundation for CSG right now is to be visible, because everything is done online now. You get the artists already that are registered. The Hakim basically get Hakim to do a promotion, whether if it's flyers or videos. That because Samro in South Africa, that's what they do. They do these short videos with their artists. Talking about the first time they receive their royalties, when they get registered, all the kind of stuff. And they have a campaign called Notes to Notes. So basically, you register your copyright, and when somebody uses it, they pay for you to get your notes in the end. So there's so many things that could be done, and there's no magic solution. But I think visibility right now, we need to look at that too. I'm sorry, director, but I think definitely
No, that's right. It's okay.
For me,
yes.
I think you even asked the question that I wanted to ask the director, because we have a lot of artists living in Europe here, because most of the artists that I work with, they live in the West here, and I don't know if it covers them too, So this is what I'm trying to say. If you can elaborate more on it, for them to know too, because I know most of them will be listening to this thing later, or they are online listening anyway, you know. But like most of the time, come Kalilu, Momo Sheikh Omar, Nyomsen program, most of the time is always swing Gambian artists, they go back home. I'm not new to Europe freedom, so I will just stay for Muna Bokas in Birmingham because I'm not seeing you very no register wala xamuñ fan la gaay di register wala ndax mën nañu register Gambia fofu ba pare register fi loolu yëpp mu ngi nekk ñoo xam ne ñu ci bari amuñ ci idea yu bari dina leen help bu baax pour gaay xam
how naka laa ko waxee Fax Colley, you set a very important point because ñu bari dañ wax ne warloo mun a register with 2 copyright bodies yi. So Sheikh Omar ak Serign lan ngeen wax si loolu because kii nii ñu ngi wax ne DJ Limbo is duly registered with the European CMO. So what do you say like a Gambian living in abroad and is registered with another? Why man dama foog ne there is a reciprocal
reciprocal Carl, in regards to that, first of all, lima buga wahagum chi Serign point bim raise rek moy ne Serign, there is called the CSG Gambia Facebook mungfa csggambia.gm mungfa, that's the website. csggambia.gm my website be Facebook be csggambia.facebook mungfa. You can search any of those Twitter bisa amna. And you can check, you can follow.
Website is Gambia, it doesn't work.
Well, okay. No, guy, tell you keep mu wara def some update how ma mu wara boy bi amna assignment biñ ko joxe. Amna lu mu wara def how ma lu xew.
Okay.
Well, amna something because we asked him to put something down because for now if I want some information the guy put on what was erroneous, wrong. And today at the meeting he was asked to bring it down for some update I think that he needs to do.
Okay.
But you can check the Facebook one for now, you were active or whatever, something like that. It should be. Okay. And then what you have to understand, this group is actually newly coming into office. Group B, ñoo gëna liggéey the previous executives here because all these materials here, social media stuff here, and all these media platforms here are created by the team. Even the logo bisa are created by this team. So they are completely new at the moment. And Gange try to do some of those things. So why information, accent contacts, anything that you need out there, you can always communicate through those channels and you will get fast response to make sure that your issue is being addressed about the CSG or anything about CMO. Secondly, Fax Limdon like in regards to RTC, yes, RTC, they are registered directly under my office, Belegi. Bobu utena ak bu CSG. Because li xew moy bobu so demé at the NCAC website bi ding fa gis bobu tamit amna the form bi mung fa ncac.gm. Form si mung fa, and then in fact we are trying to make the electronic one. Right now ñu ngi work ak ku melni Mohawk who is helping us to give us a Google format. Before now, Carl, you were okay with that already.
Yes.
So lolu ñu ko try pour def bo xamne legi dañ ko downloader fofu rek. Even you can just make your transfer directly to the bank account and then your form will be processed. So hard copy bi, you can send anybody to pick it for you, but the electronic copy bi, we can send that to you. Bobo, you can have your electronic copy and deal with that. While it's a hard copy bi, you can send somebody on the ground here. Also, if you pay for the postage, we can post it. Also, all that is also available as far as registration is concerned for that area. That is just to have an artistic card to be recognized as an artist in the Gambia.
Yes.
So, registration for works in it. Bobo, if you want to do that with the CMO, you can do it. Whether you're Japanese, Japan, or China, but as long as even Japanese, you should do. Moma Jekabindane, he wants to register all his works here. In fact, Moma Johalis, when he was the Minister for Culture, Purma set up the CSGB. I'll tell you that.
Wow.
That money was paid by Izulu. You know why?
No.
A wise guy. A wise guy. Because he knows that if the copyright works in this country here, at that time, 3/4 of it is all going down to him and in Senegal. Why Bobu no dafu donde? Motabu ekati Madam Sibi ekkati xaalis bu bëri jox ko nekkoon na mu ñëw assist ma fii train ma put up all these things yi works yooyu yëpp Karl dina la wax ne madame Sibi moo ñu dimbale moo ñu train she was the director of SODAF no du SODAF droit d'auteur non droit d'auteur la jógee ko droit d'auteur la she was the director of waaye ECOWAS la jaaree dafa use ECOWAS because she does not want to come from droit d'auteur directly to the Gambia, then they would see, because time of Youssou Ndour was the minister for culture.
Culture, wow, I could remember.
That is the time that she paid that money in here for us to start and roll. How it's been set up here, the collecting society of the Gambia here came from Youssou Ndour.
Yeah, but Sheikh Omar, my boss, you know, Dumala de Buga attack because you're smart kilipanga. But I just want to say part of the law is talking strictly about awareness raising campaign. Dole ma jox xaalis ngeen di ñëw si suma TV bi all the time ñu def sensitization of the people. Wow, because the money is there. The law said it already that part of the campaign should be like public awareness and public education on the Copyright Act. So
why
spread the money? Just write to UNESCO, spread the money and then give us the money. I'm doing this for free.
Karl, xaalis bi moo ñëwagut bu CSG amee xaalis bu xaalis bi ne ñëw xam nga liñ amutoon.
So
dedicated
proposal to them, Sheikh Omar, public education and public awareness.
Mom la la wa mané lolu my office cannot do that, Karl. It can only be the executive or the secretariat of the CSG. Why it has not been functional. Mu ngi soga start work tey ji as we are talking. Tey lañ set up a skeletal office that needs to start corresponding now. Man suma boppa ni my double up as the secretary to that office. Maa ngi double for free just for my volunteer leen rek. I am volunteering. Dama mujjee dem léegi. Ma ne léegi xam nga
volunteers, I'm right here.
Well, Serign have some options. Serign,
please
on your doors. With regards to
Serign, can you drop me your email, please? I need an online, a virtual officer. I need a virtual secretary, Sabana.
Okay.
So, pare global call, don't contact Serign.
Inshallah.
That will solve.
Yeah, that is the role of the interaction to bring the cultural.
This program has solved one of the biggest problems that the Gambian industry has been suffering from.
Nice.
Thank you so much.
You're solving it now.
Thank you so much, sir.
Nice. Great.
Thank you so much. We are glad, and I want to thank Pa Usman.
Okay, I've just shared my contact in the chat.
Yeah. And then the people who are in the platform. But anyway, second one, so why Uncle Munge was on a website we have not, of course, check why Jesus go. So I think you can get back to your people and tell them that.
No, what on the website? Then go watch it. Watch it and go. Wow, because there is some issues that it has. So guys, you watch it. Then they are doing some work on it this night, Mini.
Okay.
Well, if I'm not Fibala Monday, it will be up. Fibala Monday, it should be up again.
Okay. Well, so why you only living on the contact me, so then I'll go forward Jallow Serign. So
please, Karl, I living on this WhatsApp and vitamin.
Yeah, I think you fill my survey earlier this year, so I've got your email, but I'll get your WhatsApp after this.
So, Serign, can you tell us a little bit about that survey from the university? What is this survey all about, and what is
was that your survey?
Yeah, it was me. So basically, I did my dissertation on how to set up a CMO in Gambia, what the current situation is, and what is needed. Basically, it was a hypothetical project, because as we know, it's very hard to get information from Gambia. And when I was there, it was you know, when you're in Gambia, especially when you've got a million things to do, it's hard to make meetings, and people are always busy to meet you. You have to beg people. Unfortunately, director, you didn't come to my. I couldn't get close to you, but now that we're in touch, alhamdulillah, I'm grateful. So
Serign, I have an open door policy. Karl knows I don't take appointments.
Yeah,
everybody can walk into my office anytime, any day, any minute.
Bye, Falla. Bye, Falla. He's a
Okay,
bye.
don't worry. I'm just an introvert. So Lord, I have to make sure that you are okay before I make an approach. But
Hi.
yeah, my research basically, this is what I've been looking into to see what is needed to set up a CMO. Basically, I studied a whole CMO operation from inception to paying royalties, and I don't know everything. It's so much. Every day I feel like I have what I learned yesterday is nothing. So it is very complex. And however, I know that there's a huge potential in Gambia. Like the director is saying, if we're losing 30 million in 2015-16, right now, how much could that be? It could even be double or triple that amount. And imagine if collections begin. There's so much unclaimed money. Some musicians in Gambia, some writers, some composers, some publishers in Gambia, once they register their works and the CSG is fully operational, they wouldn't need to work anymore. Every payment cycle, they'll get a nice paycheck that pays for their repertoire, because their catalog is so good. People are listening to them every day. We hear them in the cars. Even kids are playing them on their phones. All of that pays. But right now, it's rather unfortunate.
Serign, the model buga come like because there are people commenting, and Uncle Badu, man, I rather dialogue than to argue with the elder or to argue with people in a way whereby we are not bringing a family discussion. Gambian Union Benalan. Now, Uncle is saying Reagan in millions of copyright royalties is a dream pipe. But man, lolu no all the time, dama ko dey argue, dama dey wax ne no. Because hangalu hell, the indicators you faneka, man, there is this German company who is established in African countries. Maybe you will be aware of them. They call them the BMAT Innovations. They send a survey. When I talk about the Gambia copyright system, they send a survey to me. You know what they asked me? They asked me two important questions. Moneka, can I give them a detail of at least 10 radio stations and 10 TV stations? It can be both online and then it can be a manual TV station. So radio stations, it can be both online, it can be manual. And when I gave them almost about 20 radio stations and the 10 TV stations, you have both online and the manual, including GRTS, they told me the Gambia is losing a lot of money with regards to copyright. Even the digital TVs, come like Gambia Talents TV, many, they are the ones that are even easier for you to be able to get royalties than TVs you have they are manual like GRTS. So they were just waiting. So a collecting society is established and they need their service. They could be able, because they have a digital system, even Clubsy, is a tool. They could be able to connect it into a place whereby they will be able to receive data with regards to all the airplays they are happening in the Gambia. So it's just a digital tool. So and that is the reason why I had wanted to share the ECOWAS. Maybe Omar, you are aware of that. That is the AU revised protocol with regards to.
Sorry, before you move on from that, can I interrupt you? I'm really sorry.
Okay.
I just want to add to that. You see what you just mentioned there. Capaso in South Africa, that's the mechanical royalties collection agency. They are extremely good at that. They have a system that is representing, I think, currently 27 CMOs from Africa, including SODAV and Senegal. They deal directly with YouTube, all the digital platforms. Their system is really good. Again, if CSG in Gambia is ready, those are the reciprocal agreements that they have in place. So CSG don't need to personally go after these platforms. You delegate those things to, like you said, this third-party company. But already, Capaso, they're collecting for a lot of countries in Africa. So having a reciprocal agreement means that CSG will only wait for the money to come in, and they'll be told, okay, artist X has one budut, artist YZ has two buduts. So yeah, I think it's already there. Capasso is doing it. Sodav is a member. CSE, when they reach that level,
NCSE is even collaborating with them. They got some of their members. Secomar, I think you got some of the Capasso members through Aripo in the Gambia some time ago. Yeah, so.
No, in fact, next week I'm going to Kampala for an Aripo diplomatic conference, the diplomatic conference on the copyright legislation that Aripo is enacting. I have already documents. I have already got my Scott, and I'm just waiting for the 19th. I will be in Kampala with Aripo. I have always worked with Aripo. In fact, I have even got the director Fondo in the Gambia here for 2 weeks just to come and watch some of my festivals. She came here. I invited her for holiday. She came and did her 2018 holiday in the Gambia here by my invitation. I brought her over in the Gambia here.
Yeah,
she's a good friend of mine.
Uncle make a very good point also that but most of the royalties would go to foreign copyright owners. Yes, and that is why that is going to encourage dynamic creative culture. Like remember, we have a lot of traditional creators, like traditional musicians in the Gambia. They don't know about the legislature, they don't know about the administrative, but other people can help them to be able to register their works. And then even communities, like we have community festivals, and then these are all things that people could be able to register and protect their works. And NCSE is doing a lot in that community festivals, and they are giving money. That will come to Fax Colley, your question, like the question you were talking about. What is the role of the government of the Gambia with regards to the creative sector, with regards to supporting it? Sekomar, Fax daf ñun laajte fii nii dafa huloo ak Master Lion, because Master Lion have a different perspective. Why mom dafa wax ne government have a role. And I had wanted to see a document from AU Plan of Action. I don't know, because Gambia is a member state of the African Union, and they have some thematic areas. I don't know whether you will be able to see the screen, but that is what I want to do now, to see whether we could be able to see something like that. You know that there is something. Like, are you all seeing the screen with me now?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. If you look at the specific objectives of the AU Plan of Action on Cultural Industries, now the specific objectives of the AU Plan of Action are as follows: to ensure an increase in national budgets and resources allocated by member states, which include the Gambia, to cultural and creative industries by 5% within the first 10 years of implementation. So, Sheikh Omar, that new one, the Gambia government is giving 0.0005% of the budget.
At then, no, that has changed now. I said at that time. Now it has extremely improved. At least drop na zero.
Drop na so legi ñaata mo fa nekk
0.05%.
It's 0.05% more for nega. So the target is member states then you wanna joxe at least 5% of the budget. So lolu Fax Colley munge answer sa question bo waxon ne like the government of the Gambia have a role to play, because lutax mo nek ne the Copyright Act is enacted in Parliament, and then it was an executive decision that was introduced to the Parliament, the National Assembly, and they thought it was necessary to have something like that to help the creative sector. So Kulawan and government has to support. That is right. Government warna muna support. So, but that advocacy, Sheikh Omar alone and his office cannot be able to do that. So that is why they need Fax Colley, they need Kalilu Banja, they need the Gambian artists, they need the Writers Association, they need Uncle Badu Basket, They need Sankun Jobate in Norway. They need Sona Jobate in UK. They need all the cultural players pour ñu muna speak with one voice to be able to advocate to the government of the Gambia about the need to support that industry. Pour ñu muna lena so out ne the employment opportunity it can create. Pour ñu muna lena so out ne how important it is for the creative industries to contribute to the socio-economic development of the Gambia, because Omar Munge complain there is no indicator we want what we are contributing to the national cake. So Legi artists are performing in stadiums, they are performing in Q City, they are performing in other places, and they are going away with, let's say, even 500,000 or 200,000. Out of that, what are they contributing to the development of the Gambia? That is also a question we have to answer. We have to answer. So the other part, Serign, which is important for you, Monica, to facilitate the emergence and growth of the CCI, that is technology businesses within the member states globally, but to increase copyright compliance in member state by 10% in the first 10 years of the implementation of the plan, by protecting intellectual property rights of creators through effective legislation and enforcement. So, Serign Lolu sa site Mumfa, site director we Mumfa. So, director we all saw that, and I think this is important for people to understand that when we talk about the role of the government in supporting the creative sector and the role of the players also as private individuals to be able to join in the advocacy to support the center, it is like a two-way ticket la. Nekune one-way ticket la. So ñun yepa wara boka pour ñu jappalé Sheikh Omar ak ñoo xamné ñu ngi nekk National Center for Arts and Culture for the government to recognize our efforts. So I will leave all of you prove whatever you want to say about that. So, yeah.
Can I go first?
Yeah, go on.
I think the last one that you said to help is it like improve what was that 10% compliance, was it copyright compliance? I think first things first, like I keep always saying, we have to encourage the creatives to know that they are running a business. Okay, if you take your business seriously, then you will protect your business. But if you don't know you're running a business in the first place, how can you even protect the rights of the interest of that business? So if you don't know the difference between these two, then it's going to be, and you're not registered with anyone that is mandated to protect your work. How can they go out of their way to say, oh, I have to protect X's music because they're just a good artist? It doesn't work that way. You have to see yourself as a business person, of course. Do what is right of you. Register, protect your work, and let the competent department handle the protection of your work. Like they enforce it, they monitor it, they monetize it, and then you get your remuneration in the end. I think it's that simple. For me, it's a business. That's where it all starts.
Yeah. So Fax Colley, yow sa argument bi waaw yow tey moom
waaw man suma argument bi fu mu gën a dem sax mooy comme dama mënut a gis suñu artistes yi ñuy mën a jógee Gambia ñëw di perform fii si festival si loolu laa xamutoon. So man suma argument mooy lan la government bi mu nga def pour make sure ne suñu artistes yooyu noonu stock foofu noonu nga xam ne mënatuñoo génn a Gambia foofu noonu ñoo perform si fii. Master Lion lim doon explain mooy ne affaire bi one way rek la mooy ne festival organiser yi in Europe fii ñoom ñoo war a send request Gambia pour Gambia mun a isi artiste fii man dama ko woon ne ko nag foog naa ne loolu mun naa nekk both ways waaye site government bi naka la ko gaay war a defee man loolu laa xamut te dama foog ne war ngeen a mun a def dara foofu noonu because ñun soo ko seetaatee fu mu nekk nii suñu artiste yi dañ dem ba nga stage boo xam ne dañ stop foofu noonu mënuñoo def dara because ñu mënuñoo génn ñëw perform si festival si fii te xam naa ne am na festivals yoo xam ne state owned festival dañ state baa ko dee sponsor so xaw ma nag ndax government yi Gambia bi war nañoo mun a def connections yoo xam ne suñu artistes yi dinañ leen mën a yónni foofu ñu ñëw represent naka la turaati Gambia muy Europe oo mu nekk America oo mu nekk Asia oo mu nekk somewhere else.
so yéen loolu sa question la
waaw Cheikh Omar si boppam man loolu laa bëgg a xam because ñun suñu artistes yi nekk
question bi pour ma frame ko NCAC, are you doing any efforts getting Gambian artists? Critically, I don't want to say only musicians, but artists from Gambia to abroad.
Wow, okay. Yes, Carl. I think there is a lot of artists that I would say to small Holland Jar, but them. I'm sure most of them are following my this discussion before, and there is so many of them. They absconded. I don't want to be naming names. Why? They got their opportunity to even travel through government lobbies or government invitations because then they have invitations. You have the either from America, mostly from this group being Ajira or Gambian Ajira.
Yeah.
Ajira, and then the guy target musicians then buga facilitate musicians in said new or else even Gambians in the diaspora we send associations with like Gambians in Norway. We've just concluded last year not year before last conclude na an agreement with Gambian artists in Scandinavia said association bi ak guy amon nañ time bo xamne guy yu won nañ fini guy Selema most of the Gambian musicians yi demon nañ ñom ji a guy a whole number of them so Gambian association in Sweden jëlewon nañ fi guy ñom lay ngom ak ndem si yalla si even ñom biri guy demon nañ yeb mako faciliter so principally am nañ fi so many of events yo xamne def day help def day su jaaré through government ñun ñoko dé facilitate make sure ne guy am nañ sen visas topato lepp ba paré ebal guy ci yoon and most of the artists yi tamit ñi nga xamne dañoo claim ne artists dañ gig lañ am outside or Europe before they can travel or ñuy mëna am sen visas they come through our office my and they been a recommendation letter my and they been a letters to the embassy my transact most of those things ak yoy non ñu facilitate ko pour guy am sen visas ñu dem so there are so many Masterland knows very well jaralen nako so many in terms of lolu be festival si mo def ak so basically li mo wax fofu non moy comme ñaar deugala it goes in two ways because government munuta engage national si or some of those countries yoy non yep muna xam lan moy sen national events yi mais mun leena binda wax leen ne dañ bëgg ngeen invite ñu dedet du dé démé non waaye dinañ dé muna am networking biñ def ba nga xam dañ ne we are highly invited suñu invité ci event yu mel noonu ñu le fenam ñu in fact say I just had some memories bima Facebook don't send that back nema ne 4 years ago I was in Kazakhstan foog naa ne yaa ngay gis di fula acrobatie ni roge down the whole of Kazakhstan street bi block traffic ba yëpp ñuy toj dëkk bi boobu noonu def nañ ko dem nañ Kazakhstan toj dëkk bi yow ñu jaxase traffic bi because fula acrobatie
fan mooy Kazakhstan
is Astana just next to Uzbekistan ay boori Abidjan waa Azerbaijan boor yooyu noonu lañ waaw yooyu yëpp si continent yi site yi Russia bi noonu la ca kaw nale so def nañ loolu te ba pare jógee nañ foofu noonu dem nañ Dubai tas fa dem nañ Korea tas fa so dañ dee génn suñu artistes yi dañ dee génn te dañ leen dee faciliter gars yi di dem def fantastic work te pare dafa am leneen li nga xam ne dañ ko def car and you are very aware about that loo xam ne su ma ko waxee in international forum ak loolu noonu for the first time ñun ñoo njëkk a nekk in QPR UNESCO dañu tàccul when we were doing this QPR report ñu ne for the first time ñun ñoo njëkk a nekk di praise a musician ne la ne boo achieve lii ñu def la a cultural ambassador jox la a diplomatic passport. def nañ ko fi mu nekk nii ba léegi moo tax this year coow li bëri Katato ne fu mu jaar dem catégorie A bala ranks ne ay kii ni Big Fa mu ne fu mu jaar mu dem catégorie A
waaw
mu ne fu mu jaar Faisal Stadium Katato mu ne fu mu jaar muy T-Small mu ne fu mu jaar Faisal Stadium Kombonka mu ne fu mu jaar Faisal QTV kii ni is it beneen boy Hussein mu ne fu mu jaar Faisal QTV yii yëpp liñ ci laaj dañ ne ku Faisal any of these two venues with more than 30,000 audience we will appoint you as a cultural ambassador te jox la a diplomatic passport because you are an emblem te da ngaa brand the country bi so loolu foog naa ne ñu def loolu as a state definitely we are promoting because bañ ko starté ak ST dafa tiitoon ne ma ne ko toogee nga taami do stadium mu ne may téléphone na kaar yeti ñaalal ma ne ko andu ST ni yake itara ni stadium ri ya feel because wali seka ka bonan janale boy akana na ja kake boy ni Senegalese artist kanale ye stadium muta yali pa albe mu ne silala open magi akele fo say ya no ibe mu ne silala mu ne mba try bare ma ngay ko ni yake ST will give you a diplomatic passport atata yake gisul nata ko Faisal Stadium my bro naka nga def beli ma ne ko so Faisal Stadium jaay more than 30,000 tickets billahi ñu jola e DP mu ne ma ne ma ne ko ne waaw mu jël syndrome bi Faisal Stade mu dem Dour Jala so this is all kinds of encouragement like ay festivals dañoo bëgg a tasaare I have 12 festivals yoo xam ne dañ ko tànn from Banjul to Koina muy di Banjul Egere di Egere night bi di open mic bi di Janjambure cultural Kankurang festival bi di Queenala Farantamba cultural festival bi di Jufure Roots festival bi di Bara Badia festival bi di Basse Fulbe cultural festival bi these are 12 festivals yoo xam ne dama leen put into a national budget every year we try to disburse them pour ñu mun a am seen festival pour ñu dem pour ñu nit ñu ko mun a tasaare yooyu tamit am nañ ko so basically foog naa ne li ñoo def ci in terms of pour promote sector bi it is there the dynamics is there why people don't streamline according to li fi ñu war a dem coow li yëpp li ko bëri yëpp ak li nga dafa am ñi xam yoon bi ñoo jaar ak dafa am ñi xam affaire bi naka la ñooñu dañ fa dee jaar di bénéfice waaye ñi xamul affaire yi ñoom ñoo dee nekk di bawti di rëy nit ñi ak wax bu bëri te because xamaguñ yoon yi and they are not learning that's the only difference that we have now.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Bro, yow dañ war a waxtaan a lot.
Yeah. So anyway.
Gisuloo ku mel ni bala ma dal foofu Serign tuuti parce que gis nga Serign ñoo na biir Gambia mu dem ba jógee ko fii ak such an exponential research or an interest in the sector mituma and if you come to the Gambia you don't meet SOJ you are not talking to the creative industry ndax du kaal
yeah
why Sheikh ñu tamit li nekkul Serigne leg de lii ñu bari la because xaw ma naka lam fa demee ba nga xam ne ñun mënuñoo am fan la ñoo amee information pour xam fan la dem
Fax Colley dinaa la wax leena I will tell you one thing when Yasale was doing Wax Sa Xalaat man ak the music union personnel si dinaa la wax ne dem na almost like 100 times DJ Boombastic bu mu nekkee on West Coast Radio dem nañ foofu noonu more than 100 times GRTS this DJ Kalilu Janko this DJ
Kalilu Janko
the Janko Sonema dem nañ foofu more than 1,000 times
Senator
dem nañ foofu noonu more than 100 times dama la wax ay GRTS live TV bu Yaya Jammeh nekkoon foofu noonu we always talk about what the NCAC is doing we always talk about artists a better understanding and appreciation of Gambian music we always talk about the copyright and then depuis time boobu noonu that is 2 decades ago up to now then daan def loolu noonu waaye the problem is comme c'est comme lu mu wax rek Gambian bi daf dee toog mu ne waaye comme Serign wax na ko fii dañ dee woon hey yow loo nekk di wax nii lii du mun a am. I used to have campus in Latrikunda German fu ma dekkoon when we are talking about promoting Gambian music yeneen saa sax dañ dee xuloo ak nit yi waaye yéen seen artistes yi nga xam ne munuñ dara waaye léegi if ST is filling the stadium, Jisul is filling Q City. Dama ko dey wax nit yi sometimes it's not a surprise to me because xam nga lu xew suma xool bi daf day bekk suma gisee loolu noonu because lu xew we do advocate for that. Laajal Sheikh Omar, we had a tour all the way in in the Costa. Then don't joy with Gambian artists. Then don't joy just to support them. Then don't joy. We were crying in the hot burning sun. And then some of those Balarangs, they are here. And that was the first time a Gambian artist don't receive almost nearly more than $250,000 from a poor country in Gambia. The Sheikh Omar coordinate na lulu no. Even the posters and the flyers, the artists have to even argue with him because he was supporting them. Why this hard facts here, there are people in the creative industries, they don't want to expose these things. And then that is the reason man mo wax ne kon ka man ma ngi amé internet kon ka man ken nekul dima man I'm doing my job, I am comfortable, man ma ngi santa yalla. I don't have anything that is stopping me for me to continue that advocacy because I'm just going to support people. So I will continue this advocacy whether you take it or you leave it. Why the reality is the things are there, the foundation is there. It is the people who are not ready to accept it.
Yes.
Yeah, because what happened, most of the creative personnel, they know that there is a vacuum in the Gambia. The family come the Atlantic Ocean. So sulanehe yo nga ñoo ak gallon nga feel gallon bi nga dem. So sulanehe kenen mu jël maybe man dama am just a cup like this. I can just come and dip it in the waters and go. Dina la jox example. Jisul ST ak ñom Bifa right now even a promoter to get them on the program is just like a nightmare because hanga lu xew most nen how important it is for them to set up their business. So legi am nañ that business idea, they are making money out of it. So da nga gis na a promoter will not just come and go through them and then make what they're supposed to make. Our fathers like Banna Kanute, there was a company in UK, they wrote a full Monday Empire book with him. Sheikh Omar will tell you that. They published it in UK. The family is not even receiving a royalty out of that. And the family is supposed to receive that. Al-Mamad Tal was trying to fight that for over 10 years or so. Mumuna have a power of attorney from the family so that Mumuna fight that. Settle South Africa. When the when they were making the World Cup, the one who make that little flute in the competition, what happened to the family? They become millionaires. So because Hangaluhel, the realization was there. So our people have to respect the officials. Before we go and talk about Adamo Barrow, the politicians are fighting their own rights. So the creative sector players, we also have to support the NCAC and fight our right. In the national cake, what belongs to the creative sector, you never want to book a banner bad, you them to the government of the Gambia and tell them, hey, this is what you need to give to us. That is what we have to do. But so politics we commence any rek ñu jog ñu wane ne government bi li amna fi li hamna. So and we have experts in the industry, but the only interest they have is how they will organize a program and then collect the monies and go because the regulations are not there. So suñ agree the way to go bobu ñu bay ko. So li mo nek problem bi why the things are there. So second one, thank you so much and we will always get you here over and over. Mu neex mu naxari dinañ la am.
Oh yeah, Omar da ngeen xala bokk fi yow.
Carl, to add to that,
No, Carl, Bimo, I rest my case. Amatuma Daralumawa, just to say thank you very much to Yen Yebrek. It's nice being on your platform and talking to you guys. I'll have to take leave of you, but it's a pity. But I enjoyed all the deliberations. Madeglu Serign one more time before I go. Thank you very much.
Director, before you go, no, I just want to add, Carl, what you were saying, who mentioned about the artisan promoters and the work visas? Was it Carl or?
Uncle Badu was talking about that.
Okay, so Fabs, so I think that one, there is a deficit of trust at the moment because ñu bari, we don't need to name names, why artists you bari ñoo xamne dem nañ baña ñibi. So lolu that created a big distrust system bi bo xamne artists yi suñ ñëwé sax a genuine artist and dañ la né wax né do ñibi wat. So lolu, I think that we have to repair that relationship at embassies by artists suñ démé ñu ñibi.
Yep.
You go and work and come back. And show them, you go through the right channels like NCAC, you acknowledge you're an artist, musicians union, all of that, with all this paperwork, let them go and work and come back. I think gradually, lolu di because Mali, every year, they get a cultural export. Send, I can't remember, Ministry of Culture or whatever, why send cultural, they have a cultural export. They select musicians. Again, I try to put discussion, but Mangi is stick with the music. They select up and coming, they've got potential. They will take them on a tour. Then they know Fini, then they know Europe, then they know Scotland, then they them be other countries, because ñom xam nañ ne seen musicians dañ dé ñibi. They come ñu liggéey because they have been empowered, because they xam nañ nakala. So suñ artists yi, we need to educate suñ self. Duñ mëna bay yépp pour NCAC or Musicians Union or GCS pour mu wax ñu every time li ngeen wara def artists yi tamit, I think we need to self educate tamit ñu find out what suñ business bi, what can we do to go to the next level.
Okay.
Thank you.
Serign, wow, lo wax mom rafet na trop te digala waye man dama fogg ne mu ngi am certain artistes yoo xam ne right now Gambia ñooñu noonu nii duñ pour nii duñ pour toogaat si Europe bi fii nii ba pare it doesn't make it right ne am na ñoo xam ne dem na ñëwuñ mooy duñ try pour ñeneen tam jógee foofu noonu man lu ma ñaan see Omar mooy ñu ngi am artistes yoo xam ne nii artiste sa carrière rek time la rek boo xam ne momentum nga am nii su momentum boobu jeexee rek fàttel everything danga faa nekk di dem nii rek. So ñu ngi am certain artistes yoo xam ne right now Gambia man dama foog ne yéen da ngeen war a do the impossible ngeen dugal seen loxo si artistes yooyu gars yi dem seen yoon su ko defee mu mun a make room pour ñi nekk foofu tam ñu mun a góorlu because gis nga fa mu nekk nii like ST ak Jizul ak Jaliba Kuyate sax laay wax ni man dama feel ne ñii they could do anything gis nga maa ngi kontaan bi nga wax ne da ngeen dem Uzbekistan dem toj foofu noonu ñun fu nekk lañ moo dem ñu tasaare fa loolu man dama musa am that belief so bu leen foog ne rek ñii dem nañ duñ ñëwatee rek duñ organiser pour ñeneen dem loolu wax yëpp dëgg la daf dee yaaxa lu bëree bëri su dee ñii dem nañ nangu ñoo ñëwaat dem duñ trostaat ñeneen waaye ba léegi waruñoo bàyyi tamit am na ñoo xam ne right now booy dugal leen seen resources boo leen am yëpp ngeen def di impossible pour ñii ñu génn ñu mun a am chance dem seen yoon once gars yi tegu si yoon ba mun a génn di demal seen bopp rek duñ leen niidati sax at the end of the day ba pare dinañ mun a ñeneen wax leen nu ma opérer ba pare dinañ mun a yóbbu waale kenn loolu laa foog wala ma fa ne ñun ñu ngi stock foo xam ne nii munuñ faa génn right now ma fa ne dañ njiit ñu ñëw dugal seen loxo si affaire yi pour lii ñu péef wii bi gars yi génn xam nga ñu bloqué go down ñu génne ko man loolu laay ñaan daal you know
xam nga gars yi ñun tamit dañ naxaree dimbale dañ war a xam ne tamit di because Gambia balal ma rek just a quick second rek ñu bari dañ di teg ne soo feesalee benn venue rek yow léegi xam nga yëpp kenn du la mën a waxaat dara kenn du la mën a dimbale so that mindset boobu noonu they have to let that go to pour gars yi mën a leen dimbale.
Okay.
Well, Fabs,
and finally, we can let you go. Your reaction.
Sorry.
Well, okay. Well, Fabs, foog naa ne raw dimbale guy pour seen tukki yomba more than give them a diplomatic passport.
I know.
Because most of them, Masi ST gauge naa ko gis xaw ma kañ waaye every day ma gis ko suma kër suma wooma la suma office waaye suma kër sax suma bëgg a tukki mu nga because affaire yaa ngi métti keroog laa ko doon tooñ sax ne ko boy comme que ne léegi am nga lifin dégg naa tukki nga ko soo dem sax léegi doo ma tàggu sax du ma ko yëg I was happy because fi mu nekk nii he doesn't need any even attestation sax or recommendation sax from my office. Because he has a red passport boo xam ne dafa dem ci embassy bi ñu am ko because now they trust him. Trust nañ ko. te the same thing applies to any of them. jox nañ ko ñu ngi ko fi jox ñi nga xam ne ñëpp identify leen def leen cultural ambassadors jox leen ko mooy benn Sona Jobaate Jaliba Kuyate ST Jisul ak right now maa ngi liggéey bu attaque bi because ñii ñoo fi feesal stadium or take for more than 30,000 people or 30,000 audience they perform seen kanam te seen show la ñii ñoo ko fi defagum right now ñi nga xam ne ñooñu la ñoo bugg nii tamit booy si li ñoo reyante nii ñëpp mooy second batch bi di ñëw nii ñëpp loolu la ñoo xeexal because léegi fi mu nekk dama ne sax ne ñii ngee bugg a jël nag affaire yi damaa yokk affaire yi ne léegi dama ko def instead of 30,000 maa ngay dem léegi 50,000 lay laajte balaa ma laa jox léegi passeport o balaa ma laa jox recommended for a diplomatic passport da ngaa mun a teg léegi instead of 50 laa jëmi su ma amatee rock bi bu bëreetee ma autorisé ne léegi 100,000 ku defut na 100,000 audience doo gis dara so gis nga nii dañoo développé affaire yi jógee nañ 30 fi mu nekk ñu nga autorisé 50 suñ dooree 50 maa ngaa dem 75 ba 100.
non waaye lu Serigne man programme bu Serigne wax nii loolu laay advocate nga comme Malian yi mu wax nii ne dañ dee mën a jógee seen dëkk ñëw too àdduna si man contact boobu laay wax ak gars yi I know that ñoom am nañ seen pass yi ñu si bëri mën nañoo tukkee yi amuñu problème waaye ndax na dee mën a possible pour yéen ngeen contact festival organiser yi nga xam ne dañoo mën a seppi ay nit yoo xam ne dañoo dem represent ñu comme loolu laa miin daal comme say
waaw understand naa li nga waaw loolu usually is the contact we will do anyway I take note of it and then dina si gën a jàngaat waaye primary liñ si jot a am nii mooy comme for example Selema gars yi seen boy si seen too boobu noonu gars yi dem noonu for Scandinavia bi boobu gars yi Selam ñoom seen boppa ñoo amoon interest bi to bring that cross cultural barrier boobu noonu den gars yi ñëw over ñu communicate ak NCAC den ñu walangal leen yoon bi ci ground bi pour gars yi mun a am access to all those artists ñu mun leen a yóbbu boobu was one two am nañ ñii di tamit ñu mel ni even ñoom kii nii Goethe Institute bi for the open mic bi boobu tamit noonu lañ ko walangee rek pour mu munoon a yomba.
I told Fox Relax,
yeah, he told me.
Wow. So bu Goethe bi so there are so many of this nii la dee demee rek waaye comme que ne ñu ngi start we will learn more pour ñu gën a xam ñeneen ak ñeneen ñi nga xam ne xamuñ leen dinañ leen xam ñu gën a reinforce more of this pour ñu mun ko am xëy na ni ko gars yi di waxee nii incha allah. Why, guys, it's been a wonderful session with all of you. And I say thank you to all of you. I enjoyed the discussion. Thanks a lot, Carl.
Thank you so much, Mr. Director. So that was the Director of Performing Fine Arts and Literature of the National Center for Arts and Culture, Sheikh Omar Jallow. So it was a great evening with you. Thank you so much for educating us. Until another time. Firstly, Serign, I don't want to keep you also for quite a long time. I think we have gone through a marathon.
Okay.
Yeah.
And uncle dama de buga uncle su binde rek, sometimes it's an icing on the cake because they like your questions you have they are important and you just
Very
cannot
important.
go beyond. Mu ngi laajte ne how many and now how many times have the likes of ST toured overseas? I think
Yeah.
lulu tamit maybe probably yen mun ngeen a wax dara si lulu waaye foog naa ne tamit it depends on the number of agents that we have also in the Gambia, professional booking agency all over the world, across the world, that have interest to get our artists out there. Because if again, artists bini, because right now in the music sector, dafa ute in the 1960s, 1970s, 80. If you have a crowd pulling ability as a musician, you can survive. Because right now, what ST is doing in the Gambia, you're working on coffee. Jarawut sa pour ST mo dem Europe, su ko nexe. Jarawut pour mo dem Europe because just in the Gambia, every year he is backing almost nearly 8 million Gambian dollars. At a Gambian level, lolu no, there is no civil servant bo xamne, government pay dina make that such of a money. Even business you have, there are big businesses in the Gambia. For them to like just in 1 year, for them to have like a 8 million in their account, that is difficult. So artists bobu no warna muna santa yala. So even without going overseas. So danga gis ne man dama fogg ne fofu tamit two-way ticket la. Two-way.
Wow. Kalilu, why hamga man fan la disagree ak yow ya master fi ngeen de waxe ni all the time. Gis nga Cheikh Omar at the end sax mu ngi laa wan ne la they will take note of it. Gis nga Gambia government bi ñoom they could serve as a manager or a promoter. ñoom mun nañoo utal ndooy ni show you dem play elsewhere. Estate doesn't necessarily have to come to Austria or Germany or Sweden to mu ñëw play fii. Am na festival yoo xam ne they are kept in Asia, America, places yoo xam ne nii all you need to do is dafa mel ni comme man mu nekkoon promoter man nekkoon manager DJ Limbo bi di ut shows for DJ Limbo dama yónnee suma proposals pour ma mun a amal DJ Limbo shows government bi suñ demee si programme boo xam ne dañoo ne 2-year programme la gars yi work out comme lu saay wax ni Mali lu ñoo def ni cultural exchange bu gars yi di def ni Gambia government bi su fekkee toog na ñu waxtaan ñoomi neen am na ñoo xam ne they could run this. Gis nga lu tax man ma xam lii mooy ñun ñu ngi nekk promoters fii ba pare ñu ngi manage ay artists ñun xam nañ how to get our artists on shows. That's exactly the same thing. It's not difficult ba pare government bi ñoom ñoo gën a strong even ñun mi nga xam ne as private promoters lañ. maa ngi laa wax Korea South Korea gis nga moom mu ngi laa wax dëkk yum dem nii yëpp dëkk yooyu noonu ñu ngi am festival yoo xam ne they don't even want to know what ST is singing ba pare not the crowd. dañoo cover everything fay everything ST na dem rek moom mu woy si hip hop ba pare mu woy si beneen laaka loolu moo nekk seen concept bi festival yi mooy waruñoo xam kooku lu moo woy sax dafa war a nekk a hip hop artist from West Africa dafay dafa laaka native language am jeex na ñoom they will pay everything waaye show si yëpp it's out there dafa des si ñoom ministry bi or NCAA bi ñoom ñu xam naka la ñoo lobee shows yooyu noonu pour artistes yi.
foog naa ne foofu noonu the part I disagree with you moo nekk ne I think you are making a mistake between me and Master Lion. I am a moderator.
Okay.
So
sorry.
I am a moderator. So I am not making what Master Lion. That is the reason why AU plan of action be ak UNESCO convention be ak a World Intellectual Property Organization and convention be I try to bring it on board director bu fi nekkee woon gisuloo daajewul dara foofu noonu.
Wow, yeah.
Those were the legal instruments lu nekk in the Gambia boo xam ne Gambia sign na ko and is part of those platforms. We want the government of the Gambia as a member state of AU dafa war a def a contribution to the creative sector which includes music. So da ngaa gis ne Sheikh Omar daf ñu wax ne before it was 0.001% of the national budget. Mu ne léegi dañ ko increase 0.0005%. Waaye AU mu ngi laa wax ne a budget of the country dafa war a contribute at least 5% of the budget. Xam nga 5% of the national budget of the Gambia xam nga loolu ñaata la. Loolu it can go up to an amount of more than 500 million.
Yeah.
So yow loo nekk di wax foofu noonu that is doable. So if a government am pump into the creative sector, maybe probably the artistic side the musical side let's say a contribution of 10 million. Now in 2013, I was in Liberia through the International Music Federation workshop. So Nyomyo sponsor everything for me to attend on behalf of the Gambia. So the Ghana Musicians Union of Ghana, they call it Musica. Their president was presenting in that platform. Therefore, the government of Ghana, and I can even share those documents to you. That was in 2013. Remember, the government of Ghana is giving to the Musicians Union of Ghana $2 million every year. Lulende Joh guy as a budgetary support.
Yeah.
So if the Ghana Music Union wants to do a concert in London, do you think that that will not be achievable? They could be able to do it because they just need promoters who are there in UK for them to get the things right. And then they make the necessary payments and they promote on their own selves and they will do it. So right now, if the government had that kind of a subvention that they are giving only to the music sector, they could employ people like you and Tough, DJ Tough and others to make a big festival in Vienna, and then the rest will follow, like the invitations. They will use their power as a government to be able to ensure that they do recommendations and they do ambassadorial connections where necessary to get those things done. So, man, I am not arguing with you on that. That was master's area, Mom Lumwa. We learned something about that because he's trying to.
I think also if you look at the flip side of that coin, so all these musicians, all these artists, they're all private business individuals. Okay,
yeah, I know.
So one, the government, what are they trying to do? They're trying to sustain themselves in the first place. So you have to take it from a different perspective as well. Well, what are they looking at? What's our return in investment in this if we invest in the creative sector? Because right now there's no statistics. The creative industries is the biggest employer. One can say with confidence that it's the biggest employer in Gambia. But let me rephrase that, is one of the biggest employers in the Gambia. Even though it's informal, but if it becomes formal at any time, we will all see that the creative industries has been overlooked for so long. So once that numbers, just like Omar said earlier, they're struggling to get the statistics, which the budget and everything is allocated based on statistics. This is how much the creative industries is contributing to the economy. And then budget will be allocated based on your contribution as well. So on the other part of the cultural export, that's why they've mandated NCAC to be the the front.
Like the advisor of government on cultural matters.
Exactly. Yes. So the musicians don't necessarily deal with the government, but it's NCAC.
They deal with.
Again, this is my own opinion.
Yes, because Serign, I just want to make it right for you. They have a regulation and they also have an empowerment instrument on copyright. They also have the Copyright Act. But as opposed to the tourism sector, tourism, they have a tourism development strategy and they have a tourism regulation. You cannot operate a shop in the tourist development area, TDA, without a registration. Registration, boneka de fay. There is it is quantified. It is quantified by GRA. So GRA model levy tax on that. The tourism sector at the end of the year, then they muna present that statistic how the tourism sector contributed to the socio-economic development of the country. But okay, DJ dafa jël sound system mu dem to a club mu organize his show, all the monies that he is getting there dafa dem to the payment he is doing to the artists and people who are helping him and mom artists. But what is now going to the government, that is not quantified. Lolu do they gain fofu nonu. So mu ngi melni ne lolu nonu It's free, bro. So that is the technical area. You are not giving anything to the government, but you expect the government to do something for you. Government is a business. A business is for the people. Critically, when we go to the political side, Lulu is a different topic. Why? That is the thinking. That is the thinking. What are you doing? Yeah.
Kayilo, xam nga ne man lu ma understand fii mooy ñun su fekkee ne dañ lobby show pour artist jógee Gambia ñi ko invite gars fay everything cover everything mu dem ba pare gars fay ko xaalis mu ñëw ñun loolu zero investment la pour ñun investment dara man foofu laay waxee de man bokkuma fu Gambia bi di fayalee suñ artistes yi comme xaalis comme fayal leen and take care of everything.
I think Fofula NCAC comes into place because ñoom ñooy represent government.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. So they facilitate the paperwork to make sure the process is smooth for the artist.
Yeah,
but that's what I'm saying. What I'm saying is let the NCA act
make
as
that
a
easier.
promoter or a manager. It's just gonna be a project bu guy create boo xam ne su fekkee dafa nekk a 1 year project sax dafa nekk a 1 year project man xam naa ne they could do the impossible man xam naa.
Yeah,
because
the project you are talking about, dafa 3 stages. You need the financial resources, you need the human resources, and you also need the technical resources. Now the human and the technical resources could be available, but the financial resources, the NCAC falla ko jele pour mu muna ko def fofu non. Now I will tell you one thing, even the UNESCO convention bo xamne guys sign len ko ak WIPO, there is a lot of money bo xamne WIPO that they support guy as a country. Why danga ak UNESCO, why danga yoy no they go specifically for certain programs yo xamne ne even come like the players, they cannot directly benefit from those funds. The only way they could benefit from those funds is through capacity building programs.
Yeah.
So the government we dafte muna am xaliss bobu nonu from UNESCO or mu am ko from WIPO, why it will just be like a kind of a workshop to sensitize and to raise awareness and to educate the creative personnel.
Okay. So facts. Sorry, Carl, when you're ready.
Yeah, no. Continue.
Okay, so to make it easier for you, here's the thing. So you see all these our big artists that want to travel outside of the country. What other countries do? Other musicians from around the world do? They, number one, you have to find a booking agent outside in the territory that you want to penetrate. You have to find a booking agent that will actively put you in touch with promoters, with venues, with concerts. With contacts to try and get shows for you. Okay, so not only friends and family, but really establish booking agents that do big shows. If that's the direction that you want to take. For example, in the UK, you go to Live Nation, for example. Even though they have a booking, they have different sections to their touring. Okay, so you signed up on their roster. Again, instantly that opens you to so much possibilities. But it's because of the competition everybody's facing around the world. Nigerians, the Ghanaians, the Senegalese, everybody's competing each other because everyone is doing amazing is making amazing music right now. So the first thing I would recommend is try and secure a really good booking agent who can get the artists onto big platforms. That would be the first point to start. And then when it comes to the Gambian side, to facilitate their travel, now that the director has made it clear, they can go through the NCAC to ensure that they get the right work permits to go on and do their performance. I think for me that would be the short-term solution. I would recommend.
You know what, Serign, these are basic stuff, and this has been like this forever. For me, what I'm saying is, sometimes if I listen to the argument or the discussion, it's like the job is being rested or vested on the artists and their management to do these things, like to contact a private agent,
Yes.
booking agent who is somewhere else. I'm
Yeah.
talking about what the government could do, let them do the impossible. I'm not saying the government to link a private promoter or, so a booking agent somewhere in Europe also. I'm saying government to government, not only Europe. In Asia, there are government-owned shows and festivals which are run by the government and sponsored by the government. If our government contact these people, it's possible that if they contacted, like for example, 15 of them, they would get maybe 5 replies, and 2 they might succeed on 2 of these shows.
One of them
out there. That's what I'm trying to say.
Actually, one of that is called South by Southwest in Texas, in Austin, in America. So that one, NCAC, if they have the funding, okay, it's the same as that Mali Cultural Export. If they have the funding, they can look at 2 or 3 musicians from Gambia and say, okay, this year we want to do a cultural export. We want to promote Gambian music. There has to be a vested interest for both parties there. Okay, in return they have to get something back. It doesn't have to be financial. They'll have to work that out. Okay, it could be in the form of a cultural export. I get where you're trying to get to, and I think a cultural export program would be the best way to address this deficit.
Thank you.
So taking them to Texas is not cheap, but they can book a stall in that place. That's one convention. You meet them in France, and so many others where you can the Gambia Arts and Culture, NCAC or Arts and Culture, they can book just the same way the Ministry of Tourism does every year when they go to these tourism expos. Expos, yes. So they can do similar, but again, it all depends on the money.
Yeah, but again, Serign, I think I'm gonna close that chapter there, and then that will be the best. Extremely difficult, because the thing is, when we empower our musicians union of the Gambia, what is stopping them from doing something like that? So, because that is independently an organization or an institution responsible to exploit.
It's different from an individual to apply.
Exactly. So there are so many ways. So, but anyway, brothers, thank you so much for joining us tonight. I am extremely happy, and I'm also happy of the viewers of tonight, the ones that have been contributing all along. Uncle Badu is just even saying the South to Southwest is extremely difficult to get a showcase. They get hundreds of thousands of applications.
That's for an individual, but if it's a cultural, then that's a different level.
That's a different level. So you see, there will always be suggestions and opinions and views.
Yeah.
And this is what we should accept: views, opinions, and suggestions. And then at the end of the day, we base them on facts. And at the end of the day is finding a way forward for the creative sector of the Gambia. So I want to thank both of you for joining us tonight. Your last words, and then that is the end of the show. We are almost to the 3-hour mark, and I don't want to keep you up to 3 hours. Yeah.
Wow, it's already 3 hours. This is really interesting.
So we start with Colley, and then to
thank you very much for having me here, and it has been a very, very fruitful discussion, and I learned a lot from this also, and it's very nice also to meet my friend Serign. I think we will still maintain our contacts from here, we will be able to, do a lot of stuff together in the future too, as we are all doing the same thing,
Yeah.
So thank you. I'm also thanking the viewers and the people who were watching online, commenting and giving their opinions, and especially Badu Basket. Thank you so much, Dad.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Fax. Serign, your last words for tonight.
Okay, again, I'd like to say, Carl, thank you for facilitating this. To be honest, like I'm learning every day, but today I feel like I've learned even more. And bro, in fact, it's been a pleasure meeting you. Even though not one to in flesh, but yeah, I feel like we can relate. I feel like I can really relate to what you do, and keep up what you do, because the flag flow high. Oluganda is my guy. We go back a few years, and I've seen him promote it. I've seen him do it a few times, and yeah, keep it up. And again with the limbo stuff, man, that yeah, the first time I saw that, I was really impressed. So well done to everyone that interacted with this. Again, thank you. I didn't think it would have been 3 hours, but yeah, we lasted that long. So that means it was interesting. And the comments, Uncle Badu and everybody else, thank you for your patience. Thanks for being there. But I'll close by saying, please, everybody, the creatives, anybody that's making any material that would need protection, that you want to get royalties for, that is eligible as original content, that is due, that is eligible for royalties or copyright protection, please go to the CSG and register your works. That I'll be, I think for me that would be all, because yeah, just go and register, please.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Mr. Serign B. Sanneh, and thank you so much, Brother Fax Colley, for joining us tonight. We are extremely happy to have two of you, and then alongside the Director General, Sheikh Omar Jallow. You know, he was also part of the discussions, and I think he shared a lot of things that the NCAC is doing with regards to the activities in the creative sector. And I must say, we are definitely happy to have people like you. So thank you so much. And then I would like to say good night to you and all of the viewers of tonight's program. Thank you all. Balarangs, I will not touch that area, so I'm gonna leave it like that. So thank you so much, the beautiful girl over there.
My little one, yeah.
Yeah, your little one. So thank you both of you. Thank you so much. And we will end this program with a sweet Chedo again, and then that is the end of it. Yeah. So thank you so much. So, thank you. Until next time.
How can I get out from here? Taylor, how can I get out from here?
Sanneh mane longo. Jara sonko ni sayano adunia. Desani konya njol banta. Konde konya njol mamba. Ngiro kona mya kilo kula nenge njola. Sanneh bala mo kumbale film.
So thank you all. Thank you for joining us tonight. Yeah, that is the last part of the program. Until we come your way next week Saturday again on the Gambia Talents TV. It has been a very interesting night. And I'm your host, Jallow, my job. On the next Saturday. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much. And I wish you all a great evening.